All right, y'all. Welcome to All Politics of Local America's number one political hip hop radio talk show. Y'all know if it's Friday, y'all know it's time for All Politics or Local. So y'all know we're hot off the tracks of the gubernatorial uh, primary. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We're going to give you all our feelings and vibes as it relates to that. So of course, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Ed Riley. I'm to your left, and to your right, of course, is Rafiza. She can introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rafiza Shahabdeen, and welcome to All Politics Are Local.
And she's the teacher of the year. We're going to celebrate her later
Right.
tonight.
That's
So you
right.
guys might want to stick around and hear a little bit about who she is and what a brilliant teacher she is, and how proud we are in the city of Newark. And then, of course, underneath me, of course, is the one and only Councilwoman Donna. You can introduce yourself, Donna.
Madam Donna K. She's smiling, but she ain't. She
You
muted.
can't hear Donna. You muted.
I said Donna Kay. That's from Congressman Payne. I never used to say that until Congressman Payne said Donna Kay stole my job. That's
Oh
what he
yeah,
said.
that's true. He did say that. He
Mhm.
did say that because you would always host for him on Mondays when he couldn't make it. Yeah.
Yep. Then he said I wouldn't stop showing up. So Donna Kay just here to see what's going on in the community and meet our guests and let's talk about the race going forward and anything else on the table.
All right. And then, of course, the one and only Brother Zaid Muhammad, of course, the man who kill it all. I mean, ain't nothing happening in the city that Brother Zaid ain't a part of. I mean, if you black, Zaid is riding with you. If you ain't black, Zaid gonna talk about your
The
ass.
dog. That's right.
Introduce yourself, Zaid.
That ain't nothing but the work. It's another Friday the 13th. This is also this day is the anniversary of a great revolutionary by the name of Walter Rodney. Fisa, you up on Walter Rodney?
Yes.
You sure? I hope so. I hope so. He was an incredible man, brilliant radical scholar from Fisa's homeland of Guyana, right? And he's been a big influence on two generations of black radicals throughout the world, based on his work as in his scholarship. He's a great brother, and we got a lot to talk about today beyond all of that, of course. But just putting a pin on an ancestral footnote that we need to acknowledge.
All right, so we're ready with our first guest, right? Well, let's give the lineup. So, of course, we know that up first, I see Donna. This is the returning guest from last week, right? Dr. Mindy Thompson.
No,
No.
no, she fell out. We're supposed to have some. Faces going to be students and teachers. You got to fill us in on this one because this is your segment. Your uprising out of
Yeah. I'm
Shabazz.
sorry, Dr. Full Love is rescheduled for the
Yeah.
20th. And
Okay.
then Fisa, take it. This is your guest, Fisa? Or Fisa?
Yeah, so we're still waiting for our guests to join. I think they were on earlier, but there's a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're just giving them a few minutes to just
While
rejoin.
we're waiting, tell us about them.
So tonight we will be having a group that came out of New Direction that worked together with them. On Thursday, June 12th, Malcolm X Shabazz High School had a community walk in the South Ward. We were joined by community members, the school band, students, as well as some organizations.
Okay. Okay.
And the walk was from the school to Jesse Allen Park, was a meetup spot, and back to the field.
And what was the purpose of the walk?
The purpose was a peace walk, just to engage the community, talk about actions of nonviolence, peace, bring the community together, and just have some fun.
Yeah, this is June, not June is gun violence awareness month.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right. We'll get into some more of that too as we go into the show on some other segments as well. And go ahead. Continue with the rundown.
And then of course coming up at 6:30, we're gonna have Mia X, one of Newark's poets, poet laureates. That's our sister right there. You know.
There's an update on that. Mia's one of her babies got sick, so
Ah,
Sean Battle of
okay,
Evolution Culture is going to pinch hit for her, and he will be joined by London Rogers on the 27th of June. There's going to be a poetry youth poetry set at NJ Pack that comes
okay,
out of a poetry workshop that has been going on at NJ Pack. And Sean and Mia were a part of that. In London, 15 years young and strong, is one of the young poetic voices that's going to be the teen host of
okay.
that gathering. So that's going to be that segment. That's the modification we had to make.
And then of course coming up at 7, I see is our brother Sharif Amenhotep. Is he still on deck?
Sharif, we expect Sharif. We expect Lisa James, and we expect Deputy Mayor Keesha Eure. And that's about some gun violence awareness actions that are happening in town. Sharif is leading a thing called Fathers Against Violence, right? And it's really dedicated to fathers who have lost children to violence, and of course,
Zaire.
country when he had the distinguished pain of losing his daughter to violence in South Carolina. So he's taking this very personal as we do in his work. And Sharif has always been a force amongst us in terms of the pioneering community-based violence intervention work we do. Lisa James from Hear My Cries. Lisa lost her sons and is a gun violence survivor herself. And she's done a gathering every year for the last several years at City Hall for Gun Violence Awareness Month. And of course, Deputy Mayor Keesha Eure will give you an overview of what's going to happen from here on into the summer in terms of activities on that front to try and keep a pin on that violence that none of us really want to be bothered with, right? So yeah, that's going to be a full segment. Good full segment.
And when is the march, Zay?
Um, Say it again.
Is the march Sunday? Is that the
Oh
men?
no, yes, yeah, no, Sunday, yes, on
Okay,
Father's Day, yes.
No, the march is tomorrow, the 14th, right?
No, I'm not. That's no Kings. I'm not talking
Okay,
about.
I got you.
That's
Okay.
after, right? What
yeah,
Sharif is doing is Sunday, right, on the 15th. What Lisa is doing is on the 28th, which I think is a Saturday, the last Saturday in June. The segment after that, where we have Larry and whoever else can get on that we've been trying to get on to talk about the election, will also us including about No King's Day. That is tomorrow, but that is in the segment after the gun violence segment that we're doing with Keesha, Sharif and Lisa. I just want
right,
to, yeah, all right.
right. So we should have a couple of people come on with Larry. Hopefully, we're hoping for brother Reverend Boya as well as brother Rahman Muhammad to get them
On the
on.
Deputy Mayor Rahman Muhammad. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
So hopefully we can get all of them on and have the kind of debate I think that might be worthy of all of us to discuss. Of course, you know there's been some crazy rumors out there where folks are talking about the mayor is pondering accepting lieutenant governor if he was offered. Of course, you all know that I've got some strong feelings about that. So I will share those when we get to that segment, and of course, in my mind, I'll tell you how I feel about that, and I think that what's generally being shared amongst those of us who been on the ground with not only the mayor but with the Baraka family for in my case
Long time.
for almost 60 years of my life.
Come on.
So we'll share that. All right. So y'all ready to get this thing rolling?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Sally is in the building.
So
what
our
you say?
first guest is from the Youth Uprising program, and they're going to talk to us tonight about the community walk and their upcoming events. So
Yes,
welcome.
man. How you doing? How everybody doing?
All right. Peace, my brother. Peace, my brother.
Peace,
Welcome to the
peace.
show.
Yes, I appreciate being here. So yeah, yesterday,
But
I
tell us about
collaborated.
Cali first. Who are you? How'd you get started? Why are you doing the walk?
Okay, well, basically, I'm from the neighborhood. I grew up here, most of my life, and I made my mistakes in the past, and I was young, and I could relate to a lot of the youth. So, when it clicked for me, I just wanted to give back and just always, while I'm still able to reach the youth, be able to steer them in the right direction, because it's a huge gap, out here from generation to generation. So that's what, just seeing it every day and just wanting to make a change. That's what really prompted me into becoming, who I am and starting my program. Um, Basically, just to provide safe haven, you know what I mean? Safe passage. Just try to help out any way I can.
So everybody don't have to make every mistake. You can save them from making some mistakes. So is
Exactly.
your program in brick and mortar? Do you do it all year?
Well, actually, I first started, I was doing open gyms. So I started at Louise A. Spencer. I did an open gym through this last summer. And this summer, I was able to partner with Malcolm X Shabazz and, do the open gym with them, and it's just been a success. It's just been a safe haven for the kids that have somewhere to go, because I grew up with boys and girls clubs. I grew up with a lot of open gyms, and we had distractions from all the negative things that's going on around us, because we was able to be provided with, things like that. And I felt like today is different. I felt like, it's nothing, for nowhere for them to go, and they just always outside. And I just wanted to bring it back to when I was coming up and was able to navigate the things that I did navigate coming up.
So we know over at West Side they do the evening program. So is yours like that, similar to that in the evening, or is
uh
yours the summer program?
yes, 4 to 7, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7,
Yeah.
at the gym at Malcolm X Shabazz.
Okay. So how many students are you seeing every night?
We be close to 100 almost every night, over 50 guaranteed.
Mhm.
We make everybody, all the kids, our high school kids, sign waivers, permission slips, just to make sure that they got their emergency contact down, just for safety purposes. And yeah, we make them also. My sister is she's a social worker, licensed social worker. So we put together like a form that we also make them fill out, where it's just asking about them, like their goals, and what do they want most in this world to work on. And then we see what they write down, and then we just try to attack that with them. You know what I mean? Just to bridge the gap.
Awesome.
Now you said that you do this Monday through Friday. I mean, so is it just is the program 4 to 7? Is it just specifically um, all about them being able to play basketball, or is there some academic work going on and so forth? And the reason I ask you that question, my brother, is because when I was younger, I started boxing here in Newark a long time ago on 8th Street in the West Ward, and when I moved to Philadelphia to train down at Joe Frazier's gym for the Olympic trials back in the 80s, I remember when I met George Benton, and and of course, if you Google George, you'll find that, he trained a lot of Olympic champions like Evander Holyfield, Pernell Whitaker, and, Pee Wee and all of them guys. And then, of course, the guys I came through with, of course, the Bronx Bomber, Alex Ramos and I came down together in the 80s. But his program that he started in Philadelphia was a boxing program. One of the things he had in the program that, and this was before I went to law school, but one of the programs he had that, I assisted him on was to take those troubled kids. And yeah, they came in for boxing, but he also had another side of the building where it was set up so that, these kids with all, because not everybody was going to be the Golden Glove champ, not everybody was going to be,
Right.
make the Olympic trials or anything. but he wanted to also say, hey, man, we want to have some people in here to help you with your math, help you with your English, help you with your science, and do all of that. Is that some of what's going on in that 4 to 7 as well?
Absolutely. See, strictly right down to it comes with permits. Like we have to have a permit for certain parts of the school. But literally, I literally just was I was just on my own with it. I came in, I wrote everything down, and I just went to the school myself, Shabazz, and just laid it out for them. And like, their gym would be a huge help to the community to provide a safe space. So I didn't really have, no detailed vision. I just knew that it can help, and I'm just trying to build, piece by piece. But just I'm seeing the positive effects of the program. Um, but with it's just more of a mentorship, So I have three of them right with me right now. Two of them is in the store getting food. The youth that go to Shabazz High School. One played football last year, won a state championship. And after sports, after school, it's another reality that these kids face, And a lot of people don't see that side where it's rough. We all grew up similar circumstances. So, when you can relate, you can relate. And I be more so, trying to make sure that the mental space that they're in, you know, um, it keeps them level because it take 1 second to make the wrong choice to ruin your rest of your life. So, not physically in the classroom, but more so like a literal call away. And it's been times where it's something outside of sports, you know what I mean, come into effect. That's why we have them write down um, what do they want to do, what goals do they have when we enter them to the program, just so we can get a little bit into their mind. So, but definitely that like I said, my sister, a licensed social worker, we wanted to do like a class feel on the other side of the gym, but that come with more permits, and we just trying to, like I said, brick by brick, one step at a time.
One of the reasons I say that is because you got a sister up top who is the teacher of the year. You know what I mean? And if that's not something that you got as a part of your program, I would think that sort of like I did with told George that I got to Philadelphia in 1980, and that was partly responsible. Believe it or not, my brother, that was partly responsible when my boxing career was over and I got back to Newark and went to law school. It was being able to go from those fights I was having around the country and then would stop in because Joe Frazier's daughter is a lawyer, and I remember like going in there and watching
In the
her,
fight too. That's right.
yeah, and watching her help young boxers, and I said, wow, I said, I don't have to be ashamed to come in here and like and I don't even think she had a teaching certificate at that point. She was just Joe Frazier's daughter. She had a college education, and she wasn't even a lawyer yet, but she was just like, yo, I want to be able to contribute,
Hmm.
to those of us like the brothers, like the kids you talking about. I'm one of them too. You know, uh,
Right.
had not it been for George Branch, Councilman George Branch, when I was coming up in the West Ward, I mean, listen, man, ain't no telling where I would be. So I mean, I applaud what you're doing, and thank God for that. I'm just saying that my friend Jonathan Austin, who's not here tonight, who is one of the co-hosts and founders of this show with me, who is an outstanding debate coach in the city of Newark. One of the things he says to me all the time is that we have a better chance of graduating from high school and college and law school and medical school than we do of actually being a basketball or football player. But we don't know that,
Right.
right? And had someone said that, Ed, you would go to law school, graduate top of your class, I would say, oh man, you must be out of your damn mind. I'm gonna be the
Right.
world champion. And somehow, brother, when I got back to Newark, my brother Bashir is not here on with you, but he would tell you that's exactly what happened. I got back here, and all of that boxing experience and all of those celebrities that I met along the way, that helped me, man, when I got back to Essex County College, graduating top of my class, got to Rutgers, graduate top of my class, got to NYU, graduating on top of my class. It was all of that, but it was people
No.
like you, man. You know what I'm saying? It was people like you who saved somebody like me. So I'm just saying that is something you might want to consider. I don't know if you need a certificate for it, but kids are struggling in both ways, and not all of us are going to be that, man. But I'm awful proud of you, my brother, because it was a guy like you who saved me.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, what you saying is facts too, because that's literally what's going on, like present time right now. It's like you need that academic side, you need that other side to balance you out. Like I said, one of the kids with me now, D1 athlete, played football for Shabazz, and he messed up with his grades right now. So I'm trying to figure out, like on the fly, literally today, trying to figure out what can I do, because on the field, he's a D1 athlete, but it needs to be something there that I can figure out to try to, help in that aspect as well. It's really support. Everything is support with these kids, like literally verbatim out their mouth. Is really be the support that's not the lack of support, I should say, that really be behind a lot of choices, and
Right. That's a
we gotta be
mouthful.
the ones to fix that.
That's a mouthful. Let me just share a couple things with you too, and on the suggestion side, and just I want to get in a little deeper with you too. In fact, Joe Frazier's daughter, Jackie Frazier Lyle, right? She's a brilliant, brilliant sister, and a beautiful athlete, just like her father too.
Yep,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah. Been watching all of it. I remember those days when
Yeah,
she made her move, and she's really she's the apple of her father. She was the apple of her father's eye, no doubt.
that's right.
100%. Now you at Shabazz. Now what's your connect? Now what's your connection to New Directions?
Say that.
What's your what connection does your program have to New Directions? Because somebody said you were affiliated with New Direction.
Absolutely. See, Tut is one of my close friends. He the reason why I even started to learn about
Step.
even having a program,
Uh huh.
and and learning about, organizing the program up and really being able to walk into a school and say, hey, can we use the gym for this program? Like that's how I learned everything from Tut. So I always give him his flowers. And you know, yeah, everything I do, I always speak to bro, and he just give me guidance on any moves when it's come to dealing with, the youth and the programs. Cause I already, in my neighborhood, it's all youth. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally with them every day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing firsthand cause effect. I'm seeing firsthand what can work, what needs to happen, because, like I said, it's coming verbatim out their mouth.
Let
So
me run this
that's
by you. Let me run this by you. And fix to jump in if you want to, because I definitely want you to jump in to be sure. You at Shabazz High School, named after Malcolm X, right? This is his
that's a fact.
centennial. Shadi's birthday is the same day of Malcolm X. Now get into Shadi. I said, you studying? What's up? You know, this year is
Right,
also October is the anniversary of the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's the book that saved a lot of our behinds' lives. That's what woke me up. I was a little
right,
drug dealer and I stole that book in a drug transaction, and straight up, that's what turned me around 180 quick,
Me
right?
too.
Yeah, and,
right.
and, and the boxing head, the
Yeah,
boxing gave me my discipline, right?
yeah.
To make that transition to become I tell everybody I'm a Malcolm Muslim, right? But and I'm saying this in a way that perhaps I can help you. I run an organization called the Malcolm X Commemoration Committee. We could talk about maybe sometime in October where we can do a giveaway of the autobiography to the kids that you work with. and let's
Yes,
see,
sir.
and let's figure out a conversation and how we can use that connection to check them where they're out in their head, check them where they're out in their reading. Right, reading is a
Absolutely.
basic
Absolutely.
survival skill. Right,
Yep.
And
those of
not
us
only
who
give
read
us the
more
books,
have a
like
better
take a
chance
week
of surviving.
and not only give you the
More
book, take a
to
week
help
and read it
in spirit
together.
form.
Right. Read alongs.
So that's
Read
what
along,
think
yes.
about that.
Have a read along. That'll be really good because y'all can discuss it. And Tally, so you'll be seeing the kids all summer, correct?
Absolutely.
Did,
Well, with the program, the open gym program, the permit is expired, so we don't have a gym as of right now. So that's why we did the community walk as like a, like a cap on top of, the
Yeah.
success we had with
Hmm.
the program.
Hmm.
And it
oh,
was
because
an amazing turnout. We had a 7-on-7 against the football team.
okay.
You know what I mean? The band came out. It was like a parade. People was coming out their
Guys always
houses,
has a good time.
waving, clapping. It
And
was a
Tally,
big it was a big thing.
how far you
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 know.
say you over by Shabazz, but you can get to JFK. You know, see if you can go talk to them because right now they did a big news story about the shortage of lifeguards and how they're changing, the opportunity for students to get in there and get summer jobs, um, and things like that. So talk to somebody at JFK. Maybe some of the students that are
Okay.
coming to see you would like to go learn how to, swim and become a lifeguard. Everybody should learn how to swim, but see if they can
Yeah.
get in on how to be a lifeguard and they could possibly get a summer job.
All right. Definitely look into that. My both of my little cousins work at JFK right
All
now.
right, well, just make a phone
Yeah.
call and you tapped in.
Literally. Literally right
You
now.
are tapped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
I'm a
thing.
new adult, so I be feeling, not to cut you off,
Uh-huh.
but I just wanted to say like I got young sons. My oldest son's 3 years old, so I'm thinking in that aspect as well. Like, okay, my son is gonna be growing up out here in the same environment with the same
Right,
kids.
right,
So
right.
I'm automatically responsible because my actions is gonna be a reaction as well while I'm out here. So now it's like, okay, I'm really on it. Once I figured that, like, okay, I got my kids is gonna basically be looking up to these kids, running after these kids. So if I can meet them right here and steer them in the right direction, it's going to also benefit my children. So
Yeah. What I was going to also
that's
say is,
mandatory.
I don't know, how do you feel about theater and all of that? Because Zaid is an actor as well, and I know there are programs going on. You have the International Film Fest. And Lorenz Tate is a big sponsor of that in Newark, and they just did a program in New York where they took students and taught them through filmmaking. How to deal how to transform some issues and things they had and they can put it in through their acting and making films and things like that. So the arts is something. So whether you're doing sports or the arts and especially reading, you're going to tap into and you're going to reach people and bring them into new
Absolutely.
awarenesses.
Everything. These kids don't, they need stuff like that because they don't even know what they into. Like I noticed that too. Like when some kids you ask what do they like doing, they really don't know because they really haven't done anything. And it's just the reality that they're in. So theater, anything, cinema, anything, they gonna gravitate right to it because
That's
it's literally it's something new, and that's all that need. They need something. That's what I see. They need something to keep them busy. There's nothing
right.
out here to keep the kids busy, but we
Yeah.
blame the kids every time something happens. But it's literally nothing for them to do. Even when I might go out or something, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm going out. They don't even have a team party to go to. Like they don't even, it's the weekend. They don't even have no, boys and girls club. You gotta pay memberships, hundreds of dollars. So they don't have
Tally, you got to
nowhere to
bring back
go.
the
And
base. You got to bring back the basement parties. Do you know about basement parties?
man, they shut that down so fast. You gotta get a permit. Everything gotta have a permit. Gotta have a permit. Can't do it like back in the day. I remember house parties. That was the best. I
Yeah,
like that no more.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They mama be kicked out the complex.
So it sort of seemed like too, my brother, that 4 to 7, so a lot of parents, basically, can drop their kids off. They don't. Do the parents stay with you when this is going on, or they just drop their kids off and you sort of look out for them for those 3 hours?
Absolutely, they just drop them off, and a lot of parents really be literally thanking, just saying thank you because they know where their kid is at for three
Right.
hours. Like, like really appreciative. Like, it go a long way. That a lot of conversations I have with parents, I wasn't never thinking that far or thinking about it. But like I said, I was just trying to provide a safe haven. But we have parents who really don't know where their kids be majority of the day. So it just that was a big relief that I saw. And
Okay.
parents,
Well,
so they drop them off.
Tally, this is a hip hop political show. We're gonna talk a
Mhm.
little hip hop. When you out there doing that work with them babies, before I ask the question, Rafisa, did you have any other questions?
Any upcoming events for the youth and the community that you want to kind of discuss and just tell us about and share?
Yeah. Right now, we gonna put a cookout together. I was speaking with a New Direction about a cookout coming up. We don't have an official date or nothing like that, but yeah, it's the same. The program is every day is real life. And we just trying to help one kid. Even if we reach one, that's a success. That's a success, changing their mindset. But yeah, just stay on the path. What I mean? Continue to do the good work. It's really what's going on.
So I'll continue my question. So when you out there doing the work or thinking of the next plan, thinking of a master plan, what hip hop individual are you listening to inspire you to do the work and keep you motivated?
I'm listening to myself first.
Are you a rapper
um,
or a
man,
hip? Okay, well, what's your
I do the hip hop.
Okay, look at you. Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah, I do. My everybody know me as Tally Man. Yup. But yeah, I do music. I got a lot. I got a song that I bet you my fellas, my righteous fellas is called History. Y'all look up my song History. I'm speaking about Malcolm X. I'm speaking about the move people.
Can we get
I'm
some
speaking
bars?
about look what they did to the move people. They ain't even shoot people. They just used to protest about animals and cruelty. They just wanted equal rights. Police did them spooky. Philly mayor dropped a bomb on them like a clue beat. Look what they did to Fred Hampton. They wanted him dead. Leader of the Black Panthers, he had them scared. Never on no meesh, but always on some weesh. Police kicked his door in and killed him while he's sleeping, laying on his bed with his girl who was pregnant with his kid, but they ain't care. They put 2 shots in his head. Before Tupac, before Big, we lost heroes in this. I'm talking super Negroes executed by the feds. Soon as they got the word that Martin Luther King was dead, Lil Bobby Hutton went hunting for some pigs. He was only 16 with that shotty in his hand, ready to catch a body. Got his body filled with lead. Nowadays, you ain't even rhyme for your man. Grew up with him all your life. Okay.
All
I
right,
just give you a
Zaid. I know
little bit of
that's
that.
right up your alley. Look at Zaid.
Yeah,
Give
yeah,
you a little bit of that.
yeah.
Just give you a little bit of that.
Zaid, you got we
Yeah,
can't hear
I
you,
get
Zaid.
constant.
What studio you doing your work at?
I bounce around. I got a different couple studios, but
Okay.
for the most part, yeah, I bounce around.
The new direction is right in the hub because that's the studio right there.
Right,
All right,
right.
so this guy
Yeah,
right.
I've been in that studio. I ain't never do no work because it's more about the engineer for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's really the engineer's availability.
Okay, well, I
You
didn't see
doing-
that coming. So how can we look you up? On YouTube? Where? Instagram? Where?
Yeah, Tally Man, yup.
Oh,
TALLYMANYUP. Youth,
okay.
and the youth program is YOUTH. Youth, I mean Youth Uprising Pro. That's the Instagram for the program.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it. Okay.
All
Youth
All
right.
right.
Uprising Pro.
All right. We might have to
Yes,
bring
sir.
you back for our hip hop segment one day. We're gonna
Oh,
bring you back.
y'all. If it's hip hop, y'all need me. It's a lot we could have spoke about on hip hop.
Oh,
Absolutely,
Well,
okay.
absolutely.
well,
And
definitely.
I'm conscious. I'm
Okay.
conscious too.
We
I'm woke,
here.
so
Good. We see.
yeah.
We
Yes, sir.
here.
All right, son.
Well, we definitely need to bring him back, man,
Right.
and and get into a little bit of that, and then maybe invite, my son to come through too, and let's see if we
That's
can do
my
some
guy.
peace,
That's my guy. My
right?
son knows what's going on. That's my
Khan,
guy.
Hakeem,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
get to
saying,
stand up on
right?
24 hours of peace.
Yeah,
And I thought
we
you was
But
gonna say invite Fred Hampton back. Yeah, come on now.
we're
Fred
just
Hampton, my favorite. Fred Hampton, my favorite man. Fred Hampton, the one that really changed my whole life when I read his story, and because
That
that's what
is huge.
really changed me. The reading. That's why when y'all saying the books I understand that wholeheartedly because that's literally what changed me.
Yeah.
When I actually understood that these things were happening and it's true, it's facts. Like so, hold up. I don't even. Why am I even beefing with my brother if that's not even my enemy? Like, hold up. So they making us do this. So they want us
mm,
to do this.
That's right.
mm,
Oh, and we deal with pride as black men. So I ain't about to be nobody fool. So that's what really okay. And then I started to understand life, and that's why I wanted to give back everything I know. Cause I'm the same person that as everybody else running around, you know what I mean. But once I read that and understood the move people, they drop bombs on people's houses
Those
with
are my
kids in there.
comrades. I know them well. We just had the anniversary of that.
Come on,
Yeah.
bitch, these my
Yeah.
heroes.
Fred
These my
represented the best.
heroes.
Fred represented the best of the party. He was incredible. Only 21 years old, and then he put in some very
21,
serious.
Yeah.
All right,
21.
all right, all right. We can
All
let
right.
me. We gotta definitely have you back, young G.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll
sir.
be
Yes, sir.
around.
I
I'm gonna
tell you something before we let you go, my brother. I actually lived in North Philadelphia when that happened.
Hmm.
Wilson
Mm.
Good was the mayor, brother, and we had worked very hard.
1985.
Yep,
Friday the 13th.
we worked
I
yeah,
couldn't believe that was true.
we worked
What?
very hard to get that brother elected when I was in
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia.
He showed
Uh,
us his behind in the
and
worst way.
for him to turn around and do what he did to all those black folks, man. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy. That's and you know what's worse about that? That people don't even know about that. When I ask the majority, 99% of people, do they know about what happened to the move people? That's crazy. Dropping that should have been everywhere. Everybody in the world should have heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
You
they
know,
won't. They won't put that out in the media though. So yeah, I
when
understand.
we have Africa, Sister Africa on, we're gonna invite you on, brother.
Yeah.
Have you come on
That's
so
an
you can
honor.
talk to her.
Yeah.
That's
I
an
have to
honor.
bring Mike Africa
Absolutely.
into town for he's got a book out and a film out on his family because his mother and father were in prison when all that happened, and they just got out of prison a minute ago after over 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right, all
so
right, all right.
connected, brother. Stay connected.
I thank y'all for having me up here. I appreciate every last one of
Hey
y'all.
man, we
Definitely was a
proud of
good
you, brother.
time.
We
Happy I
salute you,
came.
man.
And
We
thank
Thank you. I
salute
you.
you,
appreciate
brother.
that.
Stay up,
Yep.
Yes,
son.
ma'am.
Stay up. Yes, sir. Stay
Stay
up. Keep
All
focused.
right.
rising.
Take
Yes,
care.
sir.
Have a good night.
All right, brother.
You too.
All right, we gotta get now. We gotta make this transition to London and Sean, and this is something.
Was I first off? Let me just say thank you to Rafiza. That was an excellent guest, Rafiza. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
inviting that brother
No
on.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
surprised us. He gave us wine like I'm listening to me.
Sean, you can come on camera. You on now. This is your time, right? Uh,
Hello, everyone.
London,
Hello.
London. Let me just say this because London is. I go back with London's grandmother way back. It's a. I'm not gonna get mushy, baby. All right. We want to let your light shine in a way that's very important to us. But Sean, on June 27th, this is the Great Sean Battle of Evolution Culture, one of our local stars on the lyric front. Uh, there's going to be an amazing show at NJPAC featuring our younger voices in poetry, right? Sean, welcome to All Politics. Is this your first time on with us?
Yes, this is my first time actually with you all.
Really? I thought you've been on before. Well, welcome, right? Let me say that first. And then tell us the story about the program that sets up June 27th. And then and we'll bring London in a little bit, right? Let her talk a little bit. And then I want to give each of you a chance to share something if you want to. All right.
Understood. So thank you all for having me once again. In London, it's good to see you. Again, my name is Sean Battle. I am a poet, author, spoken word artist, and the CEO and founder of Evolution Culture Ventures here in Newark, New Jersey. On Friday, June 27th, it is a special edition of our flagship event one of the longest running open mic series in Newark, Evolution Dope and Mic. Get it? Dope, open, dope and mic. It is a special Salute the Youth edition. I heard my brother talking about youth-centered programming earlier, and this is another example of what can be expected in that 4 to 7 sweet spot, or in this case, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. This will be an afternoon show. And for this event, it is mostly what we do every month at Evolution Dope and Mic, 10-slot open mic list. We have a powerful double feature, double header of previous Dodge poets. We're teaming up with Dodge Poetry and NJPAC Arts Education for this. Our headliners will be the Poet Laureate of Newark, Miss Margie Mia X Johnson, as well as Isabel Cruz. Of course, live music from our dope and DJ, The Ism, and a live band will be in attendance, also of the youth, called The Wonder Collective. Now, for those who want to attend, for our youth, ages 13 to 18, it is a $5 ticket flat. But you got to show your school ID or your report card on the day of the show. You got to buy it in advance and then show your ID on the day of the show. For those adults that want to stay, ages 19 and up, $20 ticket. Everything can be purchased on evoluculture.com or evoluculture on Eventbrite. I'm excited because this is on the rare occasion that I actually will have a co-host, Miss London Rogers, who I've heard great things about, youth ambassador for Dodge Poetry, among other things. So I'm excited to share the stage with her on this one. And I hope to see a lot of you in attendance Friday, June 27th, especially those who are looking for something to do now that school is out, especially if you are a poet, singer, songwriter, MC, comedian yourself. But the open mic is first come, first served at the door. So make sure to show up on time. But yeah, so, and one last thing. Prior to the event, there is a masterclass. If you are looking to have a poetry workshop, Mia X will be teaching one as part of the Dodge Poetry in the Community Youth Poetry Workshop series that's going on. You can follow njpac.org or, again, Evoluculture on all social media. We have it posted there. Multiple dates for the workshop series. They are free to attend. And June 27th at 2 p.m. is one of them. Everything will be taking place that day in NJPAC Center for Arts Education, 24 Rector Street in Newark. And I hope to see all of you there so that we can catch these vibes and start the summer off right. And with that, I turn it over to you, Miss Rogers.
So, Miss London, girl, let me tell you something. I used to write poetry for your grandmother and your mother and your uncle and your aunt when they were kids. Tell us about your journey to this craft and to this program. And if you want to, I want you to share something with us if you feel like you want to do that.
Okay. So hi. I'm Leonard Rogers, obviously. So I've always written and wrote since, I don't know, I've been writing for maybe 4 years. It's been a way for me to get out my emotions easily. I wouldn't say I didn't start sharing my poetry outside of to me until a year ago. And that's because, well, I don't know. I think it was around this time last year, Dodge Poetry had their workshop for NJPAC Arts Ed. And I've been doing NJPAC for 5 years now because I'm an aspiring actor, director. So being there has definitely helped grow my craft. And I always knew they had poetry workshops, but I never was really confident in my writing to, dip my toe in, give it a try. So last year I decided I would. And those workshops were amazing. It definitely helped me grow in many ways. It helped me write a poem that was apparently so good that I got to perform at Represent NJPAC's poetry / hip hop show for their after party section with 4 poets. I think it was 4 or 5 of us that were chosen, and only 2 of them were youth. So it was a really good opportunity. And yeah, I feel like that program really helped me grow my love for writing and helped it become a little more easier, because before it was hard for me to write poems without me being like sad. Like I wrote a lot of sad poetry, but now I feel like I'm a little more empowering, a little more comfortable in writing happier, not even comfortable, like knowing how to do it and express emotions that aren't as like sad, crying, I'm so depressed. Like, yeah.
But that's okay. Let me say several things to you quickly. One, when you get ready to graduate from high school, I'm going to give you a book for your graduation. I'm telling you what it is right now. It's called Blues People. It's going to open you up and explain why you went through all that stuff that you're talking about in your writing and your emotions. Most of us, and I'm not going to say most of us, a lot of us come to writing to heal. And sometimes it's not even intentional, right? We just, it's a safe space. You hear us been using this language all night. It's a safe space for us to deal with our own mind in a private way. Usually that's how it starts. That started for me, right? Right. So that's absolutely normal and it's very healthy, right? And you've got surrounded by some very good folks that I know I'm very proud of, and I watched all of them grow up and blow up, right? So I'm proud of all of them. Now I'm gonna ask both of you a question, and Sean, I never had a chance to ask you this. In the land of writers who've gone on before you, who are your favorite influences? Right? For me, I was taught by the great Jane Cortez. And of course, I had a very close relationship with the mayor's father and mother, right? I still have a close relationship with the mayor's mother, right? So who do you go to, or who did you go to really open that way for you, right? To really go in deep and be really claim yourself in this tradition.
So, in no particular order, my favorite poet of all time is Patricia Smith, whose language and bringing up persona, how to bring characters to life, speaks for itself. I am a student of Dr. Tara Betts and Evie Shockley. I pledge allegiance to Amiri Baraka. And also, as always, in terms of being a writer, but also being a human being, rest in peace, Bria Blackberry Molasses Knight.
Oh, God, you're going to get me all messed up now. Right?
These are just the tip of the iceberg. And of course, I got to shout out, my Evolu Culture family, Treasure Boy, Elliot Font, Don Krypton, The Ism, Paul Conqueso, Demi the Vibe, Anissa Jefferson. They, as writers and as people, always inspire me to keep going forward in my craft. Mia X is in that as well. There's so many different writers and poets. I moved to Newark back in 2011, and this entire
Newark from where? From where?
I was born and raised in Camden. I did my undergrad at Rutgers, New Brunswick, and then moved to Rutgers, Newark for my MFA in creative writing. So it'll be close 14, 15 years since I moved here come August. But it's so many different people, so many different artists that have inspired me. The first few names I mentioned are definitely at the top. And they ultimately, and I got to mention Omar Holman as well, the founder of blacknerdproblems.com, because when I asked for, just advice of wanting to figure out acceptance in one's community, he straight up told me, F acceptance, be yourself so that the right community will find you and you'll be able to be your authentic self. And that's always what I lean into.
Right on to that.
When you was in undergrad, you said you did your master's too, correct?
Yes, my MFA in creative writing at Rutgers, Newark, my bachelor's at Rutgers, New Brunswick.
When you did your undergrad in your English lit class, was Amiri's poem still in the book? Did you study?
Yes. So what happened was Amiri popped up twice, and the way he popped up was in my contemporary poetry course, and they straight up had Black art in the lineup. But then I had a Black poetry course with Evie Shockley, and her course was all about, in search of a Black aesthetic. And Amiri's work was all over the syllabus. So I got introduced to him through the classroom twice.
So do you remember he did a poem, and you probably seen him do it on Def Poetry. He's like, Adida,
Why
Why
is we
is we
American?
American?
I
Yes.
teach that
Why
all
is we
the time.
American? It's a poem about reparations.
Right. Yeah.
But
We
wait a
is
minute.
again
I want to give
under your
London a chance
ignorant
to answer the
smell,
question too,
your
though.
intentional hell. Either
Yes.
give us our lives or plan to
Or
forfeit your
That's right.
own.
That's
that's
right.
right.
That's right.
You went right to the end. Okay. I
Uh-huh.
was going to ask you, Sean and London, could y'all, I would love to hear. You just said, please, Mary's, if you have the original and London as well, or whatever you choose to say, I would love to hear a little bit of poetry from both of you.
But let London get a chance to answer the question.
Go ahead. What question? Okay.
I would say because just the way I started writing poetry, I wasn't really like reading poets. I definitely gained my like love for poetry through music. Like definitely starts like rap, like different type of lyrical songs, and it definitely was like, I could do this. I could maybe this is
Like
nice. I like this.
Like who though? But good, you can name who got you going.
Kendrick Lamar, definitely Tupac, Ice Cube, because you know he wrote all of those lyrics, and he definitely had, even though they weren't all appropriate, he has a way with his words. J. Cole, definitely, people like that. And then I'd also say the people around me, like from Dodge Poetry and NJ Pack, like Treasure and Paul, and even my peers around me that I've seen like attending open mics and things. And it's this one poem that I constantly kept seeing on the internet, and I thought it was a sign. I already loved the poem the first time I heard it. It's called Lost Voices by Darius Simpson and Scout Bosley. And that's like my favorite poem of all time, or poetry performance that I've seen. And it definitely helps me keep me going. Yes.
All right. All right. Now the chat's blowing up for you. John Moore sending you some love. Your mother's already asked you to spit something. Right. And it's all right, mommy. I don't worry about it being nice. We got it. Right. So with the couple minutes we got left, you can each drop one. Sean, let the student go first, and then you finish up as the master teacher.
Okay. Oof. So the poem I'll perform is called It Takes a Village, which I wrote for Black History Month, at my show at my school, which was Battle of the Divas. But I kind of used the musical theme to tell a story about my family and all the strong women, not just in my life, but around the world, because I see you all. You are amazing. You are beautiful. And for the younger people who are looking up to know, like, we all like this. All like this. Okay.
Hey, your grandmother's waiting. You see this, right?
Yes. It takes a village. Something I've heard my whole life. Single mother, only child. I grew in loneliness, never really feeling whole. It takes a village. Little black girl, brown melanin, smooth and glistening, surrounded by strong black women. Coils tight, tall, and bright. It takes more than one to grow a child. It takes a village. My village may tell you I'm an old soul. Wise words with a clear understanding. Poetry that doesn't just tell a story, but deliver a message. A message of brown melanin, smooth and glistening, coils tight, tall and bright, beautiful black girl, black boy. It takes a village. Single mother, only child. I grew in loneliness, never really feeling whole. It takes a village of music to let you know you're never alone. My village may tell you I'm an old soul. I grew in old blues, jazz smooth from the TLC to the Eazy-E. I know I'm a little black girl with power because Shaka Khan told me that I'm every woman. Any goal or dream can be done because I do it naturally. Little black girl with a sweet love because Anita Baker taught me how to open my arms out to you, lift you up when you are down. Read this poem right now, reminding that little black girl of her beauty. Little black girl with worth, sitting in front of the TV, watching Monica and Brandy show me that even if I think that boy is mine, the moment he shows me he's not, little black girl with a village that don't mind going to jail because they fight kids. It takes a village to raise you, little black girl. Raise you to know that you are strong, you are brave, you are beautiful, you are loved. You are everything you need to be and more to survive the struggles of simply being you. Your mother may be strong, but she holds the weight of the world on her shoulders. The pressure of making sure you get everything you need. So your village will help hold up you and her. So to the little black girls and the little black girls who are now strong black women, this is not an autobiography, but a Valentine to the single mother, only child, beautiful black girl, black boy, brown melanin, smooth and glistening, coils tight, tall and bright. Because as a member of your village, I'm here to remind you that though the world may try to break you down, you are strong and can't be beaten. And if they manage to make you a dent, you have a village to build you up and make you new again. It takes a village.
Go ahead. Drop the mic. And I appreciate you lifting up your mother. You chose a beautiful mother to come into this world by, baby. I'm very proud of both of you. Very proud of both of you. And your mother and your grandfather are two of the most well-read, smarty pants black folks I know. And grandma got some goods too. Don't let her. She ain't shy, right? I ain't gonna embarrass you, but I'm gonna embarrass them. Beautiful, baby, beautiful, and welcome to the spot. And we definitely, it's just a space you can always come back to. I want you to understand that this is a safe space that you can always come back to. This is a drum that we built for this reason, right? And for young folks like that young man that came on before you trying to work with our babies, okay, right? Master teacher.
All right.
You ready to catch these vibes? What's up?
London, thank you so much. I look forward to sharing.
So bad they named the whole city after. Check her out.
I look forward to sharing the stage with you Friday, June 27th. Evolution Dope and Mike. For more information and tickets, evoluculture.com. Evolu Culture on all social media. She already said the message, so I'm going to switch up my poem, but I'm dedicating this performance still to Minister Diana Aldridge, a.k.a. Mama Bria. Y'all reunited.
Service is tomorrow, by the way. Yes, sir.
This is called Griot. Greatness rising in our time. You say get over it, but you ain't sober yet. Truck off the nectar from our labor, then tell us to get. We built the table and plate, season the proteins taste. Make sure you ate after spitting griot on it. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my. I see them cats on my trees. Think they slick with the sleeves. Clawed at the top, get hit with a bop. Now they meow meow. Please, someone throw capes on. Can't breathe in too long. Can't jump down, too scared of the sound of bones being church gongs. Thought their lives were plentiful, equaling to invincible. X amount, no power puff. X amount, no power puff. X amount, no power puff. Folks, mojo never JoJo'd enough. Big brains be smoothed out when fingerless fists get rough. Look, I got time to get shook. It's still my seat with all the way crooks. Record of lectures while lecturing that reparations me replacing them. We just want what's owed to us, but when y'all was owning us since day one, we want to be left alone. Your ancestors chose us. If freedom means conformity, what the in that melting pot? Poor savory is dried glue. Can't even say we missed the plot. Or well warned us about an English hiding truths and gibberish, othering other languages who harpoon untrue rhetoric to death, leaving only true stories left. I'm asthmatic but push breath, so when I see Bria next, she pleads with me and the poets that breathe with me. Last words to you felines, hissing and crying for hours, thinking you superior to God-birth blood dazzlers. Winsby a claymore to your platform, hacking trunks to timber. Disrespect your consciousness, your life shall be less limber. While we move on in hopes to grow, and so future leaders know. Embrace the branch, remember the roots, remain grounded in your go. You say get over it, but you ain't sober yet. Drunk off the nectar from our labor, then tell us to get. We built the table and plate, season the proteins taste. Make sure you ate after spitting griot on it. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. If you disrespect my roots, get the off my branch. And stay gone, sucker. Stay gone.
Thank you both. Thank you both. Now, London, you laid out a lot of your hip hop influences, but just in terms of this is a ritual question that we ask all of our guests, right? As you head out into the world, or you need the space to come to and whatnot to get your head ready, to get inspired. In the land of hip hop, who do you go to? And this is to both of you. Both of you answer this. And you can add to your other answer, or it could be the same. It's all right.
Um, I would definitely. I mean, it depends on the day, but I would definitely say my go-to are definitely Kendrick and J. Cole. Like those are my top two. Like I like a I like a rapper that's telling a story, that's poetic with it. And recently, I've been enjoying Doechii because she's very storytelling. Like I don't like the type of rapping.
Dolce has not come to play. She is getting it done.
Right on, right on.
Um,
Y'all both getting love from the mommies, from the students, from the aunties. Tiana.
thank y'all
Oh,
so
this is
much.
incredible. So Sean, what's your answer?
I mirror London, Kendrick, and these days Kendrick and Doechii. Also, Tyler the Creator. Um, really got my respect with this last album, Cornucopia. And I gotta throw in Nas. I gotta throw in Jay-Z from time to time. Um, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. I'm also paying attention to a lot of our local artists, our independent artists. Shout outs to Jay Reed. Shout outs to Samad Savage. Shout outs to Lau Omo Lau and Bishop Negros
Vibes from my
Americanos.
hometown.
So they keep me going as well. And shout outs to Miku Mari as well. Whenever I see him, he stay traveling. But they're the ones that show me that rap and poetry are one and the same, and really encouraged me to keep moving forward into that MC space.
The chat is on fire for both of you. It's beautiful, beautiful.
And I hope to see all of y'all. EvoluteCulture.com for your tickets. I hope to see y'all Friday, June 27th. Me and London holding it down as hosts for Evolution Dope and Mike. Salute the Youth, featuring Marching Mia X Johnson, our first North New Jersey Poet Laureate,
That's
and
right.
Isabel Cruz. Doors open 3:30 p.m. Show is from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It is a ticketed event. There's no paying at the door. Get yours now. EvoluteCulture.com. That's EVOLUCULTURE.
What?
EvoluteCulture.com. And catch these
Wow.
vibes.
Go ahead, son. Go ahead. Go ahead. Beautiful, y'all. Beautiful. Stay up. Uh, to London's mommy and grandmommy. This will continue to live on in Facebook and YouTube, so y'all can share it out and brag on London all you want. It's all good. That's why we do it this way. All right. And we will see y'all next week. I'll definitely be in the building for the first part, because then I got to come run and do this. All right.
Take
See
care,
you.
y'all.
Right
Appreciate
on,
it.
y'all. Right on. Thank you both.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye bye.
Peace,
Night
everyone.
night.
Peace, everyone.
All right. All right. Now we got another heavy segment coming up, right? We mentioned earlier that this month is a lot of things, that it is also Gun Violence Month. I'm expecting Lisa James and Sharif Amenhotep, uh, soul of the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition, and Deputy Mayor Eure, to come on and tell us what they got going on. And all of them are major and cherished players in our community-based violence intervention ecosystem. That's the language that has evolved from this work that we do around really fighting for peace in our community, right? Uh, so who's on stage? Who's coming in? Who's on the back? Who's in the back? Or who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Lisa made it. All right. All right. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You can stay right there. Stay right there. I don't know if you
Oh,
is Sharif in the background, or Deputy Mayor in the background. Not yet. When they do, we just bring them on in. Lisa, this is your first time with us, isn't it?
yes, it is. Hello, hello, hello.
Well, listen. This is what I want you to do, because you have a compelling story to tell in terms of what brought you to what you're doing on June 28th, right? So I
Right.
want you to tell us your story, tell us the Hear My Cry story, and then tell us what you got lined up for June 28th.
Okay. And what's crazy is I'm away on vacation. I run into both of the police officers that was on scene when my son was murdered.
Wow.
She came up to me. She said, "Who am I?" I'm looking like, "I don't know. You look familiar, but my mom wasn't there." And she said, "I'm the police officer that was on the scene." And I was like, first I thought she was talking about me, and then when she said the at the street, I knew she was talking about my son. And then her partner is also here as well.
Wow. Wow.
Peace.
Wow. Well, for the benefit of this audience, and this is a teaching platform that don't know your
Uh-oh.
incredible story, why don't you share that story and let's get into what you got going for June 28th and how you've been rolling.
Okay. You want me? So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
waiting for
go
them,
ahead.
or
Yeah.
we?
Go ahead. Go ahead and tell us your story.
Okay. So hello. So hello. I'm live, right? Okay.
You're
So
fine.
I'm
We
live.
got you. We hear you fine.
Okay, so I'm live. My name is Lisa James. I am I am a survivor of gun violence, and I also lost my only child to gun violence. So in 2019, I was an innocent bystander, and I was shot twice in the back, and I was left as a quadriplegic. As of today, I'm still am a quadriplegic. So I spend most of my life in a wheelchair, but I get around. I'm able to move around and be involved in our community in my wheelchair as well. And then in 2019, I lost my only child to gun violence as well. He was shot multiple times, and he actually died on the scene. Um, and that brought me to start Hear My Cries. Hear My Cries is a nonprofit organization that was actually started the same week that I actually buried my son, and that was in 2019. So we've been going for 5 plus years as of now, and so we've been doing different things in the community. For those 5 years, we have done trauma events, working with youth and adults as well,
Let me just
mentor
stop. You can just stop. Let me
programs.
just stop you for a second because
Okay.
I've heard you tell your story several times, but I did not put together that both incidents took place in the same year.
Oh, I said it in the same year? Okay,
Yeah.
no. 2016, 2019, 3 years
Okay.
apart.
Okay. That's still a short period of time between the two incidents. That's a lot. And
And
I'm
that's
gonna
not
say,
even it.
and I'm gonna say this to everybody that doesn't know the great Lisa James. When she came into this space, rolling the way she rolls, wheelchair, no wheelchair, right? She has been a force among us consistently, in spite of her challenges, right? An incredible story and how about because you started to go into the trauma lane, right? You
Right,
have fought through some incredible trauma.
right.
Everybody doesn't do that well, but
Absolutely.
you have fought through some incredible trauma. So I just wanted
Right.
to put a pin in that for a minute, right? As we lift you up and continue with your story and what you got going.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you very much. And I mean, dealing with that trauma, you never, like with trauma, you don't know when it's going to hit. You can feel like you're fine one day. And for example, as you know, I'm away on vacation. All right. I'm out of the country, enjoying myself. And someone comes up to me and says, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm like, "Okay, you look familiar." I'm trying to remember names. And the young lady said to me, "I'm one of the officers that was on site when that accident happened." I assumed that that person was talking about when I was shot in 2016. But once she named the street, I knew that she was talking about my son. She
Yeah.
said, "Me and my partner both were there on the scene." Was one of the officers, both of the officers that was on the scene at first when my son was murdered. So of course, it took me to a place for a few moments. I had to
Yeah.
gather back my thoughts. Even telling the story, it affects us every time we tell a story because this is real.
hmm
Okay, this is not
hmm
something that was made up. This
That's
is my
right.
life. This is
hmm
this is my life. So I have no control of that moment, that minute, that second where trauma is going to set in. Um, I do pray, and I encourage everyone to pray and just have people in their surroundings that can support them, and just try to speak out. Just try to, with myself, I know everybody doesn't do well with different things, but whatever it is that can give you a purpose, that can let you keep going. So that's my main thing, is to talk to people, because so many of us don't want to get up. I was one of those people when it first happened. I didn't want to get out my bed. I didn't want to get out here and do anything. I wanted to be buried inside my bed. I didn't want to get up at all. But, with the grace of God, I was able to get up, start a nonprofit organization, and be there to help other people, people that lost their children. I still get calls to this day, people saying, I lost another child. And every time that I hear that, I mean, I go through my own stuff and I be in my own mess. But when I hear somebody else that give me a call and say, Lisa, this happened to me, and I go straight into, okay, how can I help you? What can we do? What do you need assistance with? I'm there. Call me anytime, any night, no matter what time it is, just to be there, because we have to be there to help each other. And that's why I do the events that I do, which is the next event is coming up on June 28th. It's called Wear Orange Gun Violence Awareness Day. The first week of June is National Wear Orange Gun Violence Day.
Right. Right.
So we had it planned for June 7th. It was canceled due to the weather. So
Mhm.
now it will be on June 28th, Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. in front of City Hall, Newark City Hall. That's where we take a place. And I'm grateful to have so many other organizations to come together with us. This is our fourth year putting this event on in the city
The
of Newark.
first one. Mm-hmm.
Our fourth year, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so many different organizations are, every year it goes, and we in Newark Anti-Violence, Office of Violence and Prevention, Brick City Peace Collective, Parents of Murdered Children, Unity. We have so many different organizations have come through during the years, and we just asking everyone to just spread the word, share it on social media. This event is for people that have been impacted by gun violence, and just because you wasn't physically shot yourself doesn't mean it didn't play an impact on your life. And I say that because I have family members
Right.
that it has affected them. They might not have been shot, but I'm their family member. They
Yeah.
have to now care for me. My
That's
son, it impacted him before he was murdered, and he had to take care of his mother.
mhm.
So just because, if you feel like, oh, it's not her, it's not impacting my family, I haven't been shot, blah blah blah. It's people that you know, friends, loved ones. If you love them and you're friends with them, trust me, it should have some type of impact on you, because you have to be there. You never know when that friend is gonna call you and say, I need to talk to somebody. So we just ask everyone to spread the word. And then for those who lost loved ones that has been impacted, we have doves. We let go of the doves in remembrance of your loved ones that have been lost to the violence.
Before I ask you, because you got a good lineup of folks to join you too. But
Yes,
one of the
yes.
things that we fight for, and I'm a survivor that works in narration, the telling
Mhm.
of our stories, right? Tell us about your son. Say his name. Just tell us who he was.
Absolutely. My son, mm, wow. Okay, so his name is Avent Holston. Um, he was murdered at the age of 27. He will be now going on 33 on July 2nd of next month. So he had 5 children. He left me 5 beautiful grandchildren. Thank God for them. For my only child, um, he, that's a blessing. That's definitely a blessing. He loves sports. He always played basketball in the city of Newark. He graduated from Central High School. He went to college at, I can't think of the name, but it was in North Carolina. He worked here in the city. He has a few jobs here in the city. He worked as a security guard Actually, ironically, in front of the school he was murdered in front of. He once was a security guard right there in front of the school.
Wow.
We know it as West Kenny because he was murdered on West Kenny Street in Newark. I forgot the new name of it now. Yeah, he worked at City Hall. So he was very well known in the city of Newark. Still today, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that he was well known because, as I stated, I'm in a wheelchair, so I have to get around the city. I have to go to doctor's appointments and things like that. So I need transportation and stuff. And some of the young men, they work for different things and they know me from my son. And some of these men I never met before, but they're like, they ask me, am I his mother? And I'm like, yes, I am. And they have always showed me nothing but love. And they just tell me, never forget. Don't ever think that your son was forgotten about because he was well loved in the city of Newark. So, I mean,
That's
so,
beautiful. And that's important, right? This is that I'm just giving you some ancestor wisdom. There's a reason why they call me Baba in this town, all right? So that's just an
okay.
ancestor wisdom. That's a part of our healing, but it's also a part of us, maintaining and claiming our memories of our loved ones. That's how
Mm-hmm.
they live on, right? So it's important to do that. And that's also a tremendous inspiration. You had a good son,
Yeah.
right? You had a good son,
Yeah.
and that's incredible. Gave you 5 grandbabies. Yeah.
Five babies. Yeah, they're growing up. My youngest, actually my youngest, the youngest and the oldest actually had a ceremony today. They both they moving on up ceremony today. So my youngest was actually, she was only a month when he was murdered. So she never got a chance to know her father.
Mhm.
But even her mother did a very great job because she knows her father. And she never really, she doesn't remember him because she was only a month old, but she knows who he is. She speaks of him. She talks about him, just like she know him. So.
Let me tell you a story. This is you hear me talk about Malcolm all the time because that's
Mhm.
the ancestor that saved me, right?
Okay.
This year is his centennial, and of course he was a victim of gun violence, right?
Mhm.
Um, his daughters, I have a relationship with two of his 6 daughters. One has passed on, right? And the one thing that all of them say, and they were very little. In fact, one wasn't even born because the mother was pregnant when he was killed. Is that
Mhm.
she made sure and how she raised them in their day-to-day lives that they knew who their father was.
Mhm.
Stories, where all of those things that's come with a person's memory when they've been with us, right? Mother, Dr. Betty Bahia Shabazz, was very intentional about those daughters knowing who their incredible father was. And even though they don't have the memories firsthand, those memories were instilled in them, right? So they become a part of their own development and their own character, and they have a way of carrying these memories, and even though they've been passed on in a very teaching way. So that's the culture working. Thank God for your son, and he chose a good mama, obviously, for those grands you got. That matters, right? Young
Right.
folks, hear me. Be careful who you have your children with, right? That
Right.
matters, right? So let's get into it. Yeah, you got some folks with you. Who's coming this year?
Who's coming with
Yeah,
me?
because you got a line of about 5 or 6
Oh,
hitters. Who you
yes.
got?
Okay. You gonna make me remember these names without looking on anything? Okay, let me go back and think. Okay, so to start it off, we have parents of murdered with parents of murdered children. Janet Murphy. She has been working with me for since I started. She has her organization as well, so she's gonna start us off. Then we have Lydia Pert. She's also works with Hear My Cries. She'll be speaking as well. She'll be speaking about the purpose at the loss. Okay, the purpose at the grief. So she'll be speaking on that. Then we have Allison James Friesen. Allison James Friesen is the director and founder of Girls Live, Love, Laugh. She also has been a victim of gun violence, and she has family members that has been the victim of gun violence. So she'll be speaking as well. And then we have, okay, who's next? Oh, Kevin Baker. Kevin Baker is called, his organization is Mending Hearts.
Yeah.
Mending Hearts. Kevin Baker has lost two
He lost,
children, I believe.
yeah, he lost.
He has lost two sons. So he will be speaking for
I
us
got to
as
get
well.
Kevin on. I'm glad you lifted him up. I got to get him
Yes.
on.
Yes, I actually sent this to him today, so hopefully one day he can come on and speak with you. He's out in the community, different communities. He's around, and he's been speaking. We met at an event one time, I think last summer. We met, and then from there we have, who's next? Sonia Rogers. Sonia Rogers is a good friend of mine. Sonia Rogers will be coming on. She will be speaking. She's very informational, has a lot of information, very strong young lady. And as we know, she lost several sons to gun violence as well. And then we have, who did I miss? You got my flyer in front?
I
Let
was
me
looking
see.
for it as you talk because I got to figure out how to post it.
Right. So so I have
I didn't
Sonia,
have
I have
because
Kevin.
you got like a tree of flyers, right? You got
Right.
the main one and you got the one with the guests. I just got the main one.
Yes. Yeah. So then I think if I'm not mistaken, there might be, oh, I think it was Kevin, Sonia, Allison. It might have been one more guy that,
You
sorry
muted.
about
Oh, there
that.
you go.
Somebody came
Okay.
in the
All
door. You know, I'm on vacation, so
right.
somebody came in the room. So I think that's. Oh, then we have somebody that's going to do poetry. So we do have somebody coming along that's doing poetry. That's Elliot Flint. He is I think, an English teacher, and he's going to be speaking as well. And then we have our songstress, Miss Tracy from Unity. She will be giving a tribute to the parents as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Now remind everybody what time it's going to take place. I'm trying to get the deputy mayor on.
Yes. So again, gun violence awareness. We will be doing the gun violence awareness. Wear orange if you can. It'll be 11:30 a.m. in front of Newark City Hall on Saturday, June 28th.
It's a heavy day too, quiet as it's kept, because it's also
Yes.
the anniversary of, you hear me talk about Minister Malcolm all the time. It's the anniversary started his organization of Afro American Unity. That's a whole nother story, another walk.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Now let me now I got to ask you what we call our ritual question,
And
right?
what's that?
Now this now now this is a hip hop political talk show, right?
Okay.
So the ritual question we ask everybody on their way out is that, who is your favorite hip hop artist or group, or who are you listening to right now to get you inspired to do what you do?
Hip hop. Okay, so I really like I can't remember a lot of songs and stuff like that, but I like Rakim. Remember Eric B. and Rakim? I'm an old hip hop head. I'm an old hip hop head. Eric B. and Rakim.
Well,
Remember them?
I'm older than all of y'all, so
Okay, but you do remember Eric B. and
Rakim
Rakim, right?
is like, top shelf. Absolutely, absolutely,
Okay. Yes, yes,
top
yes.
shelf lyricist. There
I
ain't no
like
doubt
his
about
music. I like them. Yeah.
it. Okay. Well, it's been good having you. I see folks are trying to love on you on your vacation, so we're not gonna hold you anymore,
Yes, they
right?
are.
We're gonna look for
They've been helping me out.
yes,
Let me
yes.
tell you, the wheelchair don't stop much. Okay, the places I can't get into, they are lifting me up and making sure I get into. I said, just don't put me in the
You have,
pool, y'all. Don't put me in that pool. Don't dump me.
yeah,
But other than that,
you have not let that stop you.
right,
You have done
right.
better than most.
Thank you.
Notwithstanding all that you've been through, and we salute you for that. You are an excellent picture of this word that we call in this work resilience.
Yes,
Excellent picture
absolutely.
of that. We cherish you for that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
my
you.
queen. We're gonna let you. we're gonna let you enjoy your vacation. That's something that's like a foreign language to me. That's like another. That's like Chinese because I ain't never
You
had
gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta give you some time off.
it. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. We appreciate you, and we will see you at City Hall on June 20.
28.
All right.
All right. Have a
Thank
good night.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right. You too.
Take
All
care.
right.
All right. Bye bye.
It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Now I'm trying to get Deputy Mayor to come on. She's having some troubles putting her hands on the link. And in a few minutes, we should just be starting our second segment. I'm going to just review. Oh, there she goes. She's coming in, right? Are you driving? 'Cause and you muted. We can't see you, daughter. I'll hear you. Um, she's trying to come in. She's trying to get her tech in because I wanted her to big picture this conversation. All the work that the Office of Violence Prevention and Brick City Peace Collective are coordinating for this emergent summer season, right? And we have a busy community-based violence intervention ecosystem, especially in the summer. Because when you don't have those things in place, when you don't have those people in place, you don't have those resources in place, that tends to be the time of year when violence spikes. And we try and head that off in a very first-hand way with what we do. So she's trying to get on so she can give us a big picture, a full picture of what that's going to look like, building on the strengths of what we did this past summer. Last summer was very powerful. There you go. There you go. Come on off mic and come on in and jump in and tell us what's going on.
All
You all
right,
right?
I am here. I'm okay. All
Okay.
politics are local. Um, Tell me what it is that you've already framed up, and then I
No,
could help you go
actually,
from there.
Sharif. I don't know what happened to Sharif.
Okay.
He didn't get on. So we just spent some time with Lisa, letting her tell her story, let her talk about her son, her situation, and tell us about what she's doing with Hear Our Cries. Right. We want you to come in and do the big picture. Summer's coming. How our ecosystem works when it comes to this time of year. How we're addressing the month of gun violence prevention and awareness. Right. The big picture. Right.
All right. So June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and I'm sure Lisa talked about that. She is doing a program on June 28th in front of City Hall. But all month long, we will be having different activities. But the bigger picture is we are looking to decrease violence in our community. This week, we've had a spike. I believe we had 2 homicides this week, different times, one on Wednesday, Monday and on Wednesday, where we had one, young people. One was a 14-year-old that was shot in the arm, but we had two homicides and about 6 people shot. And so this is neighborhood violence that's taking place. And for the year, we have had a decrease. Every year we have been decreasing. And I know when people live in certain neighborhoods in our West Ward and our South Ward, they may not experience that or feel that way, but the data and the numbers tell us that the numbers have been lower in terms of the number of homicides. But we're not basing our success and what we do on the number of homicides. We are basing on the number of resources that we're putting in place.
That's right.
And so last summer we did over 400 programs. That was between the city of Newark, our community-based organizations, our public safety department.
We hear you all right. I know you were trying to.
Public safety department.
Mhm.
So we did over 400 programs in all of the neighborhoods. And that was fun and engaging programs, but it also was things that was informational. And so what we believe is that the more events and the more times that we're able to bring community together, the less likely we are to have people be victims and perpetrators of violence. And so this year we're slated to have upwards of 500 to 600 programs across the city. And so we're asking our young people and their families, because the mothers and the fathers, our families and our parents need to be more involved. And so the Office of Violence Prevention is hiring 150 young people who are at risk. These are our young people who would not be able to get a job through the regular summer youth employment program. The regular summer youth employment program is hiring about 3,000 young people for the summer, and that's more than most cities do. So
Yeah.
we have employment for our young people so that they can make some money. A lot of crime and violence is due to the lack of resources financially. So our robberies that we have, and sometimes our burglaries, our assaults, our theft from autos, people breaking into people's cars to take things. And so we're talking about poverty, we're talking about education, we're talking about just resources, period. And so we want people to have places to go, safe havens, our young people to have safe havens. We have our community partners that's going to have summer programming happening. Our young people, if they're not able to get paid in terms of summer youth employment in the Office of Violence Prevention employment program, then they should volunteer at different places. They should, be busy. We want our young people to be busy. And so we have those resources. We'll be in neighborhoods doing Occupy the Blocks,
Mhm.
bringing resources to the community because we know they're not going to come. Some people are not going to come to the city halls and to the rec centers and to the different places that have the community centers. So if you don't come out to those places, we're going to come to you. And so we're going to be offering for senior citizens, for our youth, for our young men, for our young women, like for all of the populations, there should be something there for everyone. And for our people who don't know where to find resources, go to the city's website. um, Go on the city's website, the city of Newark's website, Google it, and just go on a website to find out what's going on. The downtown district has plenty of things happening, the rec centers. There's a recreation center in every ward of the city. And so go to the recreation centers. Our faith-based organizations have things happening for the summer. We have summer camps everywhere. So if you can't afford a summer camp, because I know it can be costly and pricey, like we can figure it out as to where our youth, our young people, our family can go for the summer while school is out. And so we're looking to be able to increase resources around domestic violence. During this time, domestic violence spikes. And so we have resources where we are building out at the Shani Baraka Center. And if you don't want to go to the Shani Baraka Center, we have a organization now that we're building out called the Few Strong Men. And a few strong men are our men who will be responding to domestic violence incidents. That domestic violence is not just with men and women, intimate partner, is now with our children and their mothers and grandmothers. Our children are fighting their parents and our parents are fighting the children, right? And so we have domestic violence happening very differently. So we are changing the way that we are engaging with the court system, our law enforcement system, our community system, our government system. All of those things are now integrated where we are dealing with this domestic violence a bit differently. And so we have seen some decreases since we've been implementing this strategy. We're looking to be able to put more resources into sexual assault. When we hear the numbers around rapes and sexual assault victims, right, the number is, alarming. And so we're at a time where those numbers are higher than our homicides. Um, and so we need to be able to address sexual assault. It's taboo in our community. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to get help because we know the abuser 9 times out of 10. We know the abusers, and they are people that we trust and love. And so sexual assault victims are now going to be able to get resources too. If they don't want to leave domestic violence and sexual assault, they don't want to leave the situation because of financial reasons, then you can get services in the house. You can get them in the community. We're going to offer everything that you need, whether that's counseling, knowing where to go, a safe haven, information, transportation, food, clothing, right? Shelter, all of those things. We're looking to be able to help people with. And if you're not at that stage, we just want you to know that there's people that you can call and that we are looking at it in a holistic way, right? Because violence is not just, physical. Violence is emotional. It is social. It is financial. It is political, right? All of those areas. So we are looking through my office as the deputy mayor, but through the city of Newark, Office of Violence Prevention, Public Safety Department, our community partners, every space that we're in to be able to have a safe haven for people to be able to get the resources that they need. The health department, we have more resources at the health department than people know. We have a dentist, we have doctors, we have WIC, we have lead testing. You know, we have so many things. We have mental health services there, homeless services there. So there's so many things that we can tap into. I think people just don't know how to tap into, or people don't trust the resources, or they don't trust the people. So I think we have a lack of trust that's still happening. And we are dealing with, you know, pride and ego and shame, right? Sometimes we're ashamed to reach out, or we don't think that it's going to pan out to be anything. But whatever those reasons are, keep trying to get what you need. Don't stop trying to get what you need, because today it didn't work don't mean tomorrow it won't work. Or at 2 o'clock doesn't mean at 4 o'clock, right? Because if the right person shows up at the right time, your circumstance can change overnight. And so we are looking to be able to help you change your circumstances. We're looking for our young people to change their lives. We're looking for them not to have to turn to stealing cars and being shooters, and being products of their environment. We are trying to change that, because most times it's because we don't have access to any help or resources, but we have so many resources and we try to gain more access. People just don't know that they exist.
Let me put a pin in something. Okay, I want you to catch your breath, take a beat, because a lot of folks are also messed up behind this political climate. Let's get political for a minute, right? Now, our mayor shook some things up when he ran for governor. Although he didn't get the primary win, he did a whole lot better than a whole lot of folks expected, including a whole lot of folks that should have supported him that didn't. I'm gonna say that straight up, right? But we would not be able to have you talking about this commitment to all of those resources at a time when the federal government is putting some of everything on a chopping block without making that an absolute priority, right? So being political matters. Who you vote for matters. Putting people in office that are about delivering resources and transforming our environment, all of that matters. And what you're talking about is a consequence of somebody who, a child of struggle, who took this personal, right? And we all got out in the streets with him together and made some hellified noise and ultimately put him in City Hall for us to be able to do exactly what you're doing. We need to put a pin in that. We need to put a pin in that and appreciate that, right? So I know you give you a chance to catch your breath, and you don't have to say that all the time, right?
And it matters, right? Yeah. Who we have, the person matters, right? Who we have in office matters. When we come from activism, we come from organizing, we come from that place, and we come from having demands. And when you have demands, right, they say power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will, right? And so we had demands. And so because we had demands, when Barack got in office, he had to fulfill those demands, right? And when we wanted violence declared a public health issue, we held him accountable to say, we need this to be declared a public health issue, but we also need some resources attached. And so when he was able to, he was able to use his political power to sign an executive order to create the Office of Violence Prevention.
How about that?
And he did that. And then we created some policies that said for every 10 police officers that go into the police academy, we get one social worker, right? To create some equity, right? And so we understand policy. We got to understand policy changes. We got to understand politics, and we got to understand power. And so when you have a person, leadership starts at the top. And when you have a person that has power and understands leadership, and they open the door, you got to go through the door. And when you get through there, you have to change everything that you can change before the door closes. And that's what I'm committed to doing. That's what we're committed to doing, because many of us have lost people on our doorsteps to violence, whether that was shooting, stabbings, robberies, carjackings, whatever it was. We've lost people, and we've seen the impact of violence on our communities. People never able to recover. People who are substance abuse users, who are drinking, who are had an adverse effect in terms of how violence has hit their door. When you have brothers, sisters, and you see mothers getting shot, stabbed, and those things happen, most people never recover from that because they don't know how to recover, right? And so we don't just have an Office of Violence Prevention, we have a trauma recovery that's attached to it, because Mayor Baraka understood that we have a city that was written with trauma and that we did not have a recovery plan in place. And so now we have a strategy for violence prevention, trauma recovery, violence intervention strategies, public safety, all of those things, to where now it's a national model that
That's right.
cities everywhere are trying to figure out, how did y'all do it? And we had to tell them, we didn't just helicopter here. We didn't just get here. It has been years of organizing, struggle, demands. We had to make phone calls. We had to go to the city council meetings. We had to take the streets. We had to shut down some traffic. And some of us got arrested. Some folks got arrested for this work.
That's
And
right.
some people put in an ultimate sacrifice for this work, to be able to make these changes. And so we have to understand that nothing comes without sacrifice. Nothing comes without sacrifice. And many of us have sacrificed our own resources, money, sleep, energy, our health, and relationships in order to make change happen in the city. So we take this work personal, because we know the sacrifices that have been made. And so, again, we have been here over 15 years, me 15, probably a little bit more than 15 years doing this work. And some people 20, 25, people like you, Zaid, and Bashir, and Larry Hamm, and Deborah Gregory, right? The people who've been on the front lines of this work for 20, 25, 30 years have been able to see the changes. And Mayor Baraka has been the epitome of what leadership looks like. He has been the epitome of keeping his word and knowing what's on the line and making sacrifices and open the doors for other people. And so with that, we have had, I see Ali is putting the Westward Victims
That's what
Outreach
we're
Program,
doing. That's
right?
That's right.
That's where the work started for so many of us.
Right.
That place was the place where it was for men who've been victims of violence, because we understood that men were not reporting being victims. They didn't want to be victims. They didn't have a safe haven to go. The Shani Baraka Center was for women, but the men had nowhere to go. So the Westward Victims Outreach Program was the place, and that was open to everyone, but it used to just be for men only. Now it's a resource for everyone. But this work, right, have been trailblazing, and people have been on the front lines. Ali has been one of the people with passion and sacrifice that's been doing this with or without any money.
We see
No
you,
days
Ali.
off.
That's right.
Right? No days off doing this work and sacrificing when there was no funding, when there was no money. And so now, as you build the platform and you talk about how Trump just cut all of the funding, there's a tremendous cut in community violence intervention dollars. And people nationally have been laid off, and their doors are closing because the funding is cut. Right? They're talking about cutting Job Corps.
Yes, Lord. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip.
Now, Job Corps is going to be cut. They're cutting health dollars. They're cutting education dollars. They're cutting, so dollars are being cut in every place.
Indeed it is.
And so we have to be able to organize and strategize differently. And we have to be able to understand power, leadership, politics. And we have to understand is, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because some of us have been here before, right? But I don't know if we've been here at this rate. So where do we go from here is really the question.
But that's absolutely true, Keesha, because I think that, when you talk about your 15 years, you talk about, Zaid's, years on the ground, and of course, Bashir's not here. You talk about, the mayor and everybody. When everybody started this thing, remember, there was no money involved at all.
None.
There was not even a 501c3, It was just people out there in the street. I remember when you used to come to the station, you know, in Bashi, and it would be like, yo, we need to put this thing together. So, you know, people who are doing this thing 24 hours can get some resources. And I know the mayor used to talk about that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're back at that point because it's about people who want, you know, that's like the young brother we had on earlier, you know, who start a program because he see young
That
kids,
belly
you know,
on.
need help. Yeah. So, you know, because that's the same thing that happened for me with Councilman George Branch when I was young. You know, had not it been for him starting a boxing program, I mean, there but for the grace of God, go I. Where would I be? Right?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and so you know, the work that we put in, remember, there was no resources when we started. So even at this rate, we do this because one, we love our city, and two, we care about our people, you know.
Right.
And that's why what you were saying earlier about, you know, about the mayor, you know, in terms of who's in leadership matters, right? It matters, you know, and that's why, you know, the mayor's wife says all the time, the mayor sees us, right? That's why that matters, right? It
Because he
matters.
is us, right? Because the mayor is us,
That's
Yeah,
right.
right? And so they
yeah,
always talk about the people who are closest to the problem is closest to the solution, but the people who is closest to the problem are the solution,
right,
right? And Baraka is that. He is the solution, right? Because he knows the problems. He's closest to it. He's on the ground. He's more hands-on than any mayor that I know. He knows what's going on all day, every day. He inspects what he expects from people, right? He shows up. He wants to be present. He still remembers, you know, where he come from. And so it's difficult. And I know that he's made the ultimate sacrifice. He said today that he was exhausted. We had our directors meeting, and he said
Mhm.
he's exhausted, but he understands the sacrifice and why it is important. And so you have to be willing to make certain sacrifices in order to get progress, in order to move things forward, in order to move the needle forward. And
right,
so, no, people didn't believe that he would be able to do and be and beat the machine, right? If you will, right? Because people want to see change. People want to see something different. We went up and down the state on election day, and
right,
people from we went to it was Indian people, Pakistani people. It's not just black people, right? But they are black people too. Um, this not
That's
just
right.
about that. This is about people who want to see progressiveness, people who want to see change, people who are not who want to see someone that's not afraid, and
right,
to be able to show that it is still people out there who are not co-opted,
right,
right? And so that matters. That matters so much. And so it's also the other side. The sacrifice comes with consequences,
right,
right? And you don't get out of this without consequences. And you just got to choose if you're willing to accept the consequence that comes.
right,
And so that's the work of the people who are organizers, who are activists, and people try to downplay or shame people who are activists. But there's nothing to be ashamed of because we show up for people when they can't show up for themselves. We a voice for people who can't be a voice for other people. And so there's nothing to be ashamed of. That his training that he has comes from activism. And
right.
many of us who are successful, had it not been for our training, we wouldn't be where we are. And
That's
so
right.
the training and the organizing and social justice is the foundation for violence prevention work here in the city of Newark.
Right, right, and you know, and that goes to, you know, the fact that, you know, how can you actually lead people if you don't love people, right? You know, and you know, for us, you know, when you talk about the mayor being us, we also are us, right? That's why all of us who do this work, all of us who are in the community, you know, all of us who talk about the issues that are going on in our community, and you know, and you know, we really take no slack from people who talk about that. You know, let me just pause right here before I forget. Now that I'm thinking about it, you know, today is Tamika's birthday. You know,
Oh no.
No, I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday.
it's your happy
Mika
birthday.
used to be a regular here too. We need to get her behind back.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you know what it comes down to at the end of the day for us, you know, and it's not about titles, right? You know, and I think that's what people get caught at, right? It's not about titles. You know, it's all about power. People have got to have power to be able to put other people in power positions, right? You know, you know, we talked to the mayor about him making you a deputy mayor. You know, he said I had the power to do that, right? And that's what it's about. It's about being able to empower people to be able to go out there and do the things that they need to do. I mean, who would have thought, right? You know,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
you take a little young black girl like Keesha Eure and you make her the deputy mayor, right? Beautiful in all of her wonder and grandeur, right? And say, hey, go make this happen, right? Save some lives, right? Be the superwoman that you are, right? But you could not have done that, Keisha, unless you had somebody right with you or in that whole connection that says, "Hey, I got the power to do that." Because there are other
Right.
people, right, that would never do that, and that's why for us when we had this conversation in the next 15 to 20 minutes, you know, with Deputy Mayor, you know, Rock Muhammad, and Larry, and you know, Pastor Boyer. I mean, you know, I mean, what we're gonna lay out is exactly what it is. I mean, they look, you know, I mean, we know that if the mayor had won the primary and if these folks had got behind him and supported him, and of course he'd become the mayor, you know for certain, without a doubt, Newark would have been able to move forward in terms of all of the things, Brother Zaid, we've been talking about trying to get done in the city of Newark. And these people are afraid of that kind of stuff, right?
I agree.
They're afraid.
And when he decided to, and I became the deputy mayor, there were people who questioned that, right? There were people who did not agree. They didn't agree when I was the director for the Office of Violence Prevention.
That's right.
Um, and he had to bring and convene folks and bring them into a meeting and say, she is an extension of me, right? Like the work that she does, she reports it back to me, and I expect for y'all to give the same respect, right, as you would give. But it comes with scrutiny, right? This work comes with scrutiny. We have our folks that don't support the mayor, and that's fine. People get to support whoever they want, right? People get to expect things from people. They get to hold people accountable. They get to do all of those things. We have those people who don't agree politically, ideology, or otherwise, and that's fine too. I give those people the same, you know, respect and conversation when I see them. And so whoever put you know, Barack in office, if those votes came from the people who trusted and believed that he could, you know, do the job. And for those people who did not vote for him, right, they had the right to vote for whoever they thought had their best interests. Everybody has different levels of politics and political and civic understanding. And so there's no argument about who put him in office, why he got put in office, why not. There's no argument. What I only want to argue about is mission, vision, and purpose. Like, what are we doing? What's the mission? Right? We can argue all day about, you know, your beliefs, but what is it that we want to agree on? And so for me in this work, I work with folks who believe that violence is an issue in our community, right? People who've been plagued with or who've experienced violence. So we may not agree on anything else, but we agree that we all want to stop the violence in our community. And so for me, I've been able to navigate between politics and community because community is always at the center of everything that I do. So community is always first. And so we're never going to have an argument because community is first. And so I just wanted to say that and lift that up because people, you know, want to argue about everything. I just want to argue, or I don't want to argue. I just want to talk about how we can better come up with strategies, how we can better fix our budget, how we can raise money to do this work, how we can put this in a general fund so that it stays there and so that it doesn't get voted out or it doesn't get defunded, because people were saying in a council meeting, defund the Office of Violence Prevention, which is absurd. right? So it's like saying get rid of welfare for people, right? It's crazy because if it helps people, I understand we don't want to abuse anything, but this is an office that helps people who've been victimized, that creates space for people who've been
You got
harmed.
the data to back it up.
Right. And we keep data, we track the data, we track the information. If we funded people, all of that stuff is tracked. And I found myself for the last 2 years defending this work, always in defense mode. Like, what is the defense? Right? Our public safety departments everywhere nationally is always well funded, is always well supported. They have unions and everything else, and they don't get the amount of like scrutiny. And we're not asking people to do that, but we are first responders. We are public safety. We do this work to help people. When law enforcement enforces the law, something has to happen after that. Somebody got to go knock on the door. Somebody got to go help that family. Somebody got to go accompany them to their court dates and to the hospital and be at the bedside and provide social and emotional support. And we can't act like that stuff don't matter, right? And so because those things matter, we've been able to intervene in the cycle of the senseless violence. I was here when we had over 100 homicides, and
Right.
I'm here when we have 37. Right. And so I know the numbers. I understand the changes in all of the things that we've done. And so I love this work. I defend it with everything that I got because I do this work in real life. And so beyond violence prevention, we're talking public safety, but we also know that there's a bigger thing happening. Our people are in turmoil. Our people are traumatized. Our people are scared. Our people don't know which way to turn. They are losing their jobs. We're having issues financially, socially, emotionally, politically, and it feels like we are in a worse pandemic than we were during COVID. And so we got to deal with that.
Good. Well put. Well put. Well put. Couple things, right? Before we let you go, because we don't want to miss anything, because your time is precious, right? And some of us really do understand how precious your time is, right? And one is an immediate question that just you're filling in the blanks, but the other is a question that we need to be thinking about and talking about in a very real way, right? We were just in an election where we came up a little short, right? We are going to have a new governor, right? We were both in a meeting with the attorney general, and I think he should have convened 2 years ago instead of yesterday, right? Right. But it was about time that he did that, and we're going to have to, do a whole new line of march with a new administration, and neither candidate, the Democrat or the Republican candidate, have a clue as to the value of what this is. So it's, what we do is important. I want you to lift up the conference. I want you to lift up Pull Up for Peace, right? You got to do that, right? And then, your thoughts on how we're going to move forward, with this next cycle of leadership on the state level. We're going to have to, I've suggested what we got to do already, but I want that to come from you.
Okay. So yes, we were in a convening with the Attorney General's office and some other people yesterday, and talking about the state of this work. So there's a state office of violence prevention, and they provide funding to organizations, technical assistance and training. And so while we have a local office here in Newark, there's a state office, and we know that they closed the federal office at the White House. The violence prevention office is closed. And so we have to just do our own work. So we are convening a conference. It is being led by One Neighborhood Evolution in Atlantic City, but it's in partnership with the Institute for Research and Social Justice and Action, with the Office of Violence Prevention, Brick City Peace Collective, and other conveners, University of Chicago, Community Violence Intervention, and we're convening a conference called Pull Up for Peace. And you can go on the website, pull up the number 4peace.com. As of right now, we have over 350 registrations, and this is the work for us by us that we are, doing. So it is June 24th to the 27th, 3 full days at the conference. And it's going to be people nationally from everywhere. And we're going to be talking about where do we go from here, how to sustain the work, how to be able to come up with strategies and be able to keep our skills. Like, this work is skilled. So we are doing a conference June 24th to the 27th, Pull Up for Peace in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I'm one of the moderators and conveners. So we invite anyone, and everyone to come. It's a Northeast regional, so it's really Northeast regional people that will be there. But what I would say is that beyond violence prevention, we're talking about at this conference, it's going to be violence prevention, social justice, and reentry. We're talking to some of our people who are formerly incarcerated, who are justice impacted, right? Because the weather is heavy for them as well too. So how do we provide resources? How do we help our people who are justice impacted to not keep being in their cycle of recidivism and incarceration? So we're talking to women who just got pardoned by Murphy and got their sentences commuted. We have about 4 or 5 of them that will be doing a panel at the conference called Set Her Free. People who have been doing life sentences and got their sentences commuted. What does that mean? So we are going to have an array of folks that will be present: social justice, reentry, and violence prevention, all laying together the intersection of all of those things. And so we're convening and we're coming up with solutions during the conference.
Now, we have said, and we say repeatedly, how much our work has become a model for folks in other cities. Tell us where folks are coming from that are going to be participating.
So we have people from Boston, Connecticut, Chicago, Kansas City, Montgomery, Birmingham, LA, Detroit. Where else? We have about 25 cities that's coming in: Philadelphia, Baltimore, Portsmouth, Virginia. We have folks coming in from everywhere. So we will be convening together, and we're going to be training each other, and we're going to be strategizing. We have national organizations: Cities United, National League of Cities, Man Up, and AT Mitchell is going to be a part of the convening as well. We're going to have a piece on violence intervention in music, just everything that we can possibly. Tamika Mallory will be there until freedom.
Mm-hmm.
They will be there presenting, right, talking about we're in a state of emergency and where do we go from here. So that social justice piece is important. We cannot have one without the other. So our social justice organizations will be present. And so we are serious about this. So we're convening our own conference in order to come up with solutions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mayor Barack will be there
Yes.
as well on the big stage. So we have main stages, we have breakouts, and we're going to be doing some healing work. This work is stressful. This work is exhausting, and many of us experience burnout. And so, I burn out about 3 times a year, but burnout is real. And so we are going to learn, but we're going to also be able to, get some healing work in. And we're doing a peace walk while we're down there. There'll be a peace walk through the community. We're going to do a release for Gun Violence Awareness Month, a balloon release. And so we're going to talk to our survivors. There's a platform for our survivors. And we have life after, people who've been victimized, people who are in wheelchairs, right? It's called Wheels Up, Guns Down. So we have life after life. Mr. Akbar Prey will be there doing a panel and talking about life after life sentences. What does life look like, right? So it is going to be full of everything that we need. My Brother's Keeper, Equal Justice USA, Patterson Healing Collective will be doing a portion on hospital-based violence intervention, Jersey City Anti-Violence Coalition, Trenton Community Street Team. So everyone throughout the state for New Jersey will be present, doing and showing the work that we do. So it's not just Newark, it's statewide and it's national.
and that ain't rapping. That's what the work. That's the other side of the work. We commit to it. We work hard. We make things happen. People pay attention. It creates another lane of work where we have to share that out and show other people how it gets done, right? And help them on their walk to making it happen in their spaces and in their places. That's huge stuff.
So I
And
thank you for having me on the show, Ed.
yeah,
And Bob Saeed, I thank you all the time for having me here. I thank the listeners and the viewers for being here. And if any of us have a difference of opinion, that's fine. I will still always help and show up for you. But I appreciate being here, and I invite people to get involved in whatever it is that your purpose and your passion is, and always helping us to find solutions. Brick City Peace Collective meets the second Wednesday of every month, so our partners are always there, and we're always strategizing in that meeting as well. The second Wednesday of every month, Brick City Peace Collective meets with all of the partners. So there's several different meetings, convenings, and things that are happening for people that want to be involved.
hey, Keisha, let me ask you a question. Because one of the things we're going to delve into in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about, some of the things, about some of these mayors or any of the other mayors coming to the Pull Up for Peace conference down in Atlantic City besides Mayor Baraka.
Well, the whole city, which is, Atlantic City, so certainly the whole city mayor will be there.
Okay.
But outside of that, I don't have any other mayors. I have Councilwoman Tate is coming from Birmingham. We have some elected officials, some council people, from different places. Our councilman Dupree Kelly will be there. Councilwoman Roundtree will be there. But I don't have any other mayors that's going to be there. So that might be something we take a look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the reason I was asking because some of these cats who didn't support the mayor, are texting me and taking exception to the fact, I've been referring to them, as slave sellouts. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some people hit me up, saying, "Yo, why we got to be all that?" I mean, I'm like, "Yo,
That's what you did.
that's how I'm referring to you." You know what I mean? And I'm like, you don't like. I mean, I could have said Toby, but I didn't say Toby. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just said slave sellouts. I mean, I don't know if the people that you sold out to know what that means, but I know you do. And at the end of the day, I mean, and this is true, Keisha, because I think he was referring to you. When he said that he'd helped a lot of these mayors, and he said he sent his own team to go into these cities to help these folks, right? you know, and for them not to support, and this is Mayor Baraka, for them not to support him was absolutely an abomination and unbelievable, you know. And what Rock said was, and I told him, when we talked to him Tuesday, he was right. He said he think that they would have got a lot more respect if they had just supported the mayor, and them cats probably would have had more respect and forgave them just if they had just showed up for the brother. Just to say, hey man, this time around, I got to stick with the president of our organization, you know. And Keisha Zaid, this, I'm connected with mayors, some mayors outside of the country who are straight up black revolutionary, right? Would never have done that to our brother. Never, right?
Right.
And
Yeah. Some folks got
that's
to just learn
yeah,
how to, stand up for what they believe in. Listen, we understand that your livelihoods, because people think about their livelihoods and people do what's best for them. Right. And
yeah,
so when when they turn off the lights, right, we see what side people stand on.
That's right.
Right. And that's what it is. And so you rather know what you're dealing with and what side folks gonna be on than to be fooled when the lights come back on and think that, folks gonna be on your side. So, it just shows, that people are going to always do what's best for them.
yeah. But Keisha, let me tell you something. Like the mayor said, what did he say? He said, "I just got to say this. I'm a black man. At the end
And
of
he
the
understands
day,
that. And,
when you
and
go
and
look
the
in the
three of
mirror,
y'all that's right here on this call that are black men understand that you under fire every day. That
Every
you under scrutiny every day, that you fighting for your life every day.
yeah,
And unfortunately, you don't get
we
to be
don't apologize for
surprised.
being black men for a second to
yeah,
Right.
nobody. That's
yeah.
right.
You
And
go,
so when people disappoint you or things don't happen, you always understand that's because of your blackness, right? And you being a black man. And
yeah,
so that is hurtful, right? And so I don't even want to minimize the fact that it's hurtful when you feel betrayed, when you've helped people, when you've shown up
right.
for people, when you put it on the line for people, and people don't do the same for you. So I for one moment don't want to minimize the fact that betrayal, Malcolm said it, right? I can fathom death, but I couldn't fathom betrayal.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
So,
I just wanted to share that with you, kids, because I just think at the end of the day, you know, there's some family conversation I think needs to happen.
that had to happen, yeah.
Right?
And
There's
folks gotta
family,
have that. They gotta have it behind closed doors and some in public.
yeah,
But you gotta have the conversations.
we just got to. I mean, I'm just saying, every time something happened where there's a mass murder, white folks always say, "Oh, we need to have the hard conversation when it's a racial thing," right? Well, you know what? This is a black to black thing. There's a hard conversation that we need to have, right? Straight out. You either riding with us or you not. Just tell us where you at, so we real clear about that, because we don't want to be sending troops to help you get in a position of power, and then when it comes time for one of us to make that move, we can't count on you to ride with us. Oh hell no, we ain't stupid now. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you saw my post with brother Abbas, but I said to him straight out. I said, listen, I said at the end of the day, ain't none of our names Baraka, none of our names. So what's riding on the backs of them two brothers, Midi and Raz, is the name Baraka, right? Minister Farrakhan said the same thing about his name. He said, when you see my children, what's riding on their back is Farrakhan, right? So there's a level of expectation, right, that they can't sell out to do certain things. Why? Because you carrying the family name.
That's right.
Right.
So when they
Right.
show up,
Legacy.
the whole family is showing, right? The whole family is showing up.
Right.
What the legacy you create, right? You think about these guys in a position of power. They show up and their legacy. I mean, people gonna say, yo, when that brother ran, the first black man ran, well, when this young brother could have been the first black man, you cats had an opportunity to support him, and y'all didn't. That's history. What?
Say it again.
And
It's
Keesha,
not gonna be kind to that kind of sell out punky black behind.
Keesha, let me tell you something. I don't even want to tell you. Some of them brothers, we've been doing this for 16 years. And some of these brothers, when they were council people, would come on the air and talk about how black they were. Oh, man, I'm doing this in the community, the gun thing, brother, getting rid of the water guns. And, yo, man, we want to ride with y'all, man. And I'm like, okay. When push come to shove, wait a minute, you telling me that.
Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah. I mean, and look, we had one man say, yo, man, y'all know I can't support him publicly, right? What? And Mitty told me, Mitty said, well, motherfucker, we don't need you. You can't support us publicly. Well, we don't need, they don't mind cussing, right? But he was like, yo, huh?
I want to acknowledge somebody too, because he actually bucked the system, and I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that, right? And Donna's not on, but Donna's mayor, Dwayne Martin.
Oh yeah,
right?
our brother.
Dwayne
He supported him all the way to the end.
Roll with the mayor. I appreciate him doing that.
That's right. That is correct.
I did not expect that from him.
That's right.
Right? All due respect, right? But he did that, and I grabbed him the other day. I said, "I appreciate you, son." Right? Because you did the right thing. It might, even though we didn't get to the finish line the way we wanted to, you did the right thing as a matter of principle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And came on early and stayed with us, man. You know what I mean?
Sure
he
did.
Stayed with us.
Sure did.
Right?
He did. He stayed the whole way, all the way through to the speech. He did. He was there.
That's right. And I think that without a doubt, that speaks volumes. So I just
Well, I
wanted to
still got my shirt on. My shirt still say Reimagine New Jersey, right? So
I
that
never had time to get one.
yeah, it still says Reimagine New Jersey. So we still riding.
yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. Keisha, listen, we appreciate you. You know, we love you. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you so much, Ed. I
You
appreciate
know,
you.
yeah,
Larry, I love you. Baba, I love you.
Love
I
you.
appreciate y'all being able to have this platform for people to be able to speak, even when people don't agree, right? Because I'm sure I can't see all of the comments on the Facebook post, but I'm
yeah,
sure that there's some comments there.
you got it.
But it's okay.
And
We get to have this conversation,
that's
and
right.
people get to talk about it. So all politics are local, and our folks who don't understand politics, I want us to get a deeper, better understanding, because while we playing checkers over here, these folks is playing chess.
That's right.
Um, and so we got to strategize and organize. That's going to be the only way that we're going to be able to get some solutions and get some outcomes. We got to organize.
That's right.
Yeah, speaking of
That's
chess,
absolutely
they
right.
prostituting our
Speaking
business.
to organizing, you got your next your organizer on here, and so I'm going to yield and allow him to get his voice heard. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good night. All politics are local.
All right.
Good night, Keisha. See you
Good night.
tomorrow.
See
All
you
right.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Larry?
What's up, Ed?
Hey, brother. I'm trying to calm down, brother.
It's been a couple of days since we were in the ballroom at the Robert Treat when the mayor gave his speech
Yeah.
at conclusion of the election. But let
Yeah.
me tell you, I want to tell you something. I'm trying to remember what day. Yesterday was Thursday. So Wednesday, I received an award from a group called Rolling Out. I think Zaid is familiar with it. You might be familiar with it too, Ed. And Reworld. They had a fair at the Newark Museum. And Ed, when I received the award that they gave me, I did not give a thank you speech because the room was filled with a lot of Newarkers and Newark supporters and cheerleaders. I took the time, the few minutes I had at the podium, to say how proud I was of Mayor Baraka.
Right on.
It was a full house. I didn't talk about myself and this award and that. I talked about how the mayor acquitted himself during the campaign. And he acquitted himself commendably. I mean, think about it, Ed. In a state where Black people only comprise 14% of the population, the mayor got 20.5% of the votes.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Sherrill, who was the leader, received about 270 votes. Mayor Baraka received close to 270, Mayor Baraka received close to 175,000 votes. She only received 100,000 more votes than, in fact, less than 100,000 more votes than she did in a state that is 85, almost 85% white.
Right.
So, I mean, think about that. There were 6 candidates in the race. The mayor came in second. I'm gonna tell you, most people didn't think he was going to come in second.
Right.
He came in second, and there was no close third. He defeated 3 white candidates who were better funded than he was. He defeated a Black candidate on whose campaign was $40 million was spent. I mean, think about that. He defeated a guy who had more money than all the other candidates combined. He defeated him. He defeated 3 other white candidates. He defeated the mayor. I believe he defeated the mayor of Jersey City in his own city.
Sure did.
When all the votes are counted, he defeated him in his own city. when the Democratic Party organization in Essex County supported Mikey Sherrill, he won Essex County. He beat the Democratic Party organization in Essex County. He got more votes. He got way more votes than Mikey Sherrill did. And he beat her by a landslide in his own city of Newark. Not only did he win Essex County, he won Union County also. And he raised a significant amount of money. The mayor almost raised $6 million, almost.
That's right.
For his campaign. That's significant. That's significant. So as far as I'm concerned, when you look at the math, although we wish more Black voters would have come out, the fact of the matter is the mayor got the majority of Black votes. He got the majority of Black votes. So, you know, they're talking about Mikey Sherrill's chances in November. She can't win without Ras Baraka.
Say that.
That's right. Straight up.
Can I say it again?
Say that.
Mikey Sherrill cannot win.
You don't say nothing else
cannot
tonight.
Cannot beat Chitterelli.
That's right.
Without Ras Baraka.
That's right.
It won't happen.
Yep.
In fact, I mean, it may kind of undermine the position I'm trying to take, but the truth of the matter is she's going to need all the other four of them, of the other five of them, to beat Chitterelli, because the Republicans are energized. Trump endorsed Chitterelli before the Republican primary was even over. And you can believe, since he has property here in Jersey, the golf course in Bedminster, he's going to be in and out of Jersey to try to support Chitterelli because they want to win New Jersey. A win in New Jersey would add momentum to their right-wing fascist movement in this country. And this is why we have to unite to beat Chitterelli. I mean, you know, I know people are in their feelings, but we got to get ourselves together and get ready for round two.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as who is going to be Mikey Sherrill's lieutenant governor running mate, I would hope she would have the good sense to at least extend the invitation to Mayor Baraka.
Yeah, but Larry,
but if she doesn't, she should receive the recommendations from him.
But Larry, let's
Mhm.
you know, there's a lot of conversation. There's been conversation about that, right?
Mhm.
You know, and John Austin was one of the early ones to send a message to the Barakas. You know, that's not a job, you know, that I think he should take, right? And you know, because that's a celebratory job, and that's a job where you sit there and say nothing, right? You go along with everything. It doesn't give him any power, right, to say if she go and follow in the same footsteps of Murphy and don't really do anything for the people, especially based around all of the social things that were put in front of Murphy after we gave him our level of support. And of course, he didn't come and endorse the mayor for this particular round. So, but what I'm saying with her, I mean, I just don't think, I mean, everybody, and what I said, I don't know if you saw my post, but I posted on Brother Saba's page, you know, the mayor is not a lieutenant governor, brother. The mayor is a leader. And for him to have to sit there and agree with that bullshit, you know, with her trying to learn from him, I mean, that's always, Larry, that's always the issue with black people.
They put us in all the time.
We have always had to choose between the lesser of two evils, always, brother, right? And I'm saying that at this particular point, you know, that's not a job, you know, that I think the mayor should take. And that's just me speaking, right? And I'm telling you, man, I would not want to see that brother as a lieutenant governor sitting there and can't really fight for the people or disagree when something go wrong in the governorship, or we got to go to him and say, hey man, how we gonna persuade the governor to do this? And he's like, yo, bruh, I can't do nothing about that. Nah, that ain't something we want to see our brother do, man, and that ain't a position we want to see him in.
Ed, I respect your position, but my thought is, what is it going to take to beat Chitterelli in November? And I believe a Baraka Cheryl ticket can defeat Chitterelli and whoever his lieutenant governor candidate is. Now, having said that, on election night, when asked the question, the mayor declined. He said he wasn't interested. But in an article that came out in New Jersey Globe, I think it came out this morning, he said he might reconsider. So it remains to be seen what the outcome is. So my position is this: a Baraka Cheryl ticket can defeat Chitterelli in November. And I believe that's a prime objective. However, it's the mayor's choice. And if he chooses not to be that candidate, then he should be the person from whom Cheryl takes recommendations as to who the candidate should be.
Yeah, listen, Larry. I'm saying, listen. If one, I agree, taking recommendations from him. But if he goes back and reconsider that, I'm saying the lawyer in me would say, you know what? Let's negotiate a whole different deal of what a lieutenant governor is, right?
Okay.
He's got to be a lieutenant governor with some power. He can't
There
be
you go.
that just sits there with no power. So
there you go.
And you want me, and you want Essex County, you want Union County, and you want the black vote, and you want me out there, saying, even with all your unqualifications that you qualified, here's what we need, right? And we need this position that I'm going into to have some power, not business as usual. Let's negotiate a deal. Why? Because everything is negotiable, Larry.
All right. Right? You have no argument with me on that. And I accept that position wholeheartedly. It should be negotiations. Right. And he should reshape the office if in fact he chooses to go in that direction.
Yeah. And that would be the only way, right? I would say, man, I would agree to something like that, because if they're gonna mute you, right, how long you gonna be happy there, my brother? Right? You're gonna look like a sucker, right? Everybody gonna say, yo, bro, ain't saying nothing. What happened in the community?
You know that would never be Ras Baraka. That would never be Ras Baraka.
Never. Nunca.
Never.
And so you can see him clashing right off the bat with something like that, right? That's exactly what would happen.
You're probably right. But in terms of the task in front of us is to defeat Chitterelli. I'm telling you, if Trump wins New Jersey, he'll be running all over the country with that. And because it's more likely that he'll win Virginia, the governorship in Virginia, than he will in New Jersey. The Democrats have a better chance in New Jersey than they do in Virginia. But if he wins this, somewhat blue state, it ain't that blue, but somewhat blue state, they'll go to town with that. I think what needs to happen over the summer, there needs to be maximum voter registration. And but again, who Mikey Sherrill is going to choose to be the lieutenant governor candidate is going to be important. It's not unimportant. It's going to be important, because that person will go on the stump, on the campaign trail, with her and without her.
Right.
So it's very important.
Right.
We are in the foothills of fascism right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and this military parade tomorrow is really the iconic symbol of that. And Chitterelli's win, no matter how much he tries to persuade himself, to not persuade, but to present himself as a moderate, he has joined the team. You know, he's on their team. And it'll be, if he wins, it's a win for their team, not just a win for him. You know. And but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, Larry, you're absolutely right. I mean, if Chitterelli wins New Jersey, that's Donald Trump.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it, right? But I'm simply making the point, Larry, that from our standpoint, we've always been put in this position, right? Always, man. We've got to go and see. And what I said in my post, Larry, that I wrote, I said, these people who made this decision, right? These party bosses who made this decision to support Mikey Sherrill, they knew from the beginning, Larry, that Baraka was the most talented and most experienced, right? But he was not the bow down king, right? And they knew that. They could have made a decision to say, you know what? I'll give you another scenario. Do you know that if him and Fallope, two progressives, just got together, one of them would have won?
Yeah.
Right? If he just gotten together and say, you know what, Baraka, I'm gonna support you, man. What I realize is that you the most talented. But the man said on the debate stage, he said not one of them, brother, not one of them have said that if he won the primary, that they would support him.
No, because it's racism, Ed. It's racism. This is a racist state, and these white people don't want to defer to a black man.
Right.
A white man will find it very difficult for himself to withdraw from the race so that a black man can win.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say that. They don't want to bring that in polite discussion, but that's the bottom line.
Right.
And there's a whole lot of those white folks that voted for Trump and gonna vote for Chitterelli.
Right. Right.
But they understood. Listen, Larry, I'm telling you, when he made that statement, at the debate, at the Payne Center, I mean, those white folks still had an opportunity to say to commit publicly that if he won, they would support him, and they still didn't do it, Larry.
No,
they still didn't. Do it, right?
No, because they're scared of their racist constituents, even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Race is in this, brother. It's in American politics.
Yeah.
There's Rahman.
And Rock is in his space too. He's in the deli, ain't you?
Yeah, I gotta be in my deli, man. One of us black men gotta make it out here.
That's right. That's right. I've been talking about you, boy.
one of us gotta make it. It's actually doing well, man. So
right on to that, man.
You know what I'm saying? The community is definitely showing love, man. I'm talking about expanding, so
I'm gonna have to come by there and give me a sandwich, man.
Yeah, I know you don't be eating this meat, so you know what I'm saying. I forgive you.
You got tuna fish. You make tuna fish, don't you?
Oh yeah, I got tuna.
All right.
I got some. We make a vegetarian sandwich too.
Oh, there you go. I'm ready.
And not only that, the tuna is actually good. But the truth is everybody go to Rocks for the bean pies. He ain't telling nobody the truth.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
My mother bean pie.
Yeah.
My mother bean pie.
I have not had your mother's bean pie yet.
My mother bean pie on a different level.
Yeah, he ain't telling nobody that, Larry. Right?
Yeah.
We go there, but we get a sandwich, but that ain't really why we go. You know. What I mean?
As big as my big head, boy. That's right.
Hey, Brock. I told your mother. I said I come by and have meetings there just so we could eat bean pies. And you know what? We buy a sandwich. You know.
Right. Oh, that's what it is. Hey, you want to hear something funny? I had these white guys came the other day. They never had a bean pie. It was a bunch of them. They came up in here. I think they was at the UFC fight. So they was like, "What is this pie called here?" I said, "The bean pie." I said, "You never had one?" So I explained to him the history of it. And the guy, it said it made with real beans. I said, "Yeah." I said, "But here, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all one. I want y'all to just try it." Man, them dudes was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah,
This is great. This fire is great.
because you know what that
He
is.
loved us for that when he went to Bloomfield.
Yeah.
They can't believe a bean pie that a pie is made out of beans. They
They
can't
can't
believe
believe
it.
it. Yeah, they was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is great.
Yeah.
Principal Kafele said he got to get down there too.
Yeah, yeah. What's good, Zaire? What's up, my brother?
Oh man, this is good to have you back in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about, so you know you need to just jump in with your thoughts too, so we get you right up in this
Oh,
conversation.
what we talking about? The election?
Yo, hell yeah.
Well, listen, man. I think, listen, it's clear that it was a statement election. I think his victory in two counties, especially Essex County, when there were people that predicted the machine was going to beat us to death. Like that's what I was told. Like they actually told me that come Tuesday, election day, the end of the Baraka era will come about. That's what they said, and he's actually stronger than ever.
Yes,
You know what
I
I'm saying?
believe that.
It's
I
like,
believe
you
that.
know what I'm
The
saying? They was
words
like his
out of
enemies were
my
predicting.
mouth.
Yes, his enemies were predicting the end of the Baraka era, and
We
he
Right.
had to
actually came
rise.
out of Tuesday stronger than he has ever been prior.
That's right.
They should have. I mean, they should have just kept him as mayor of Newark and just leave him alone because him running for governor just took him at a different plateau, and you got more people listening to him. So, and listen, what he says makes sense, right? But you know, the crazy thing is, many of us on here already knew who he is. Like, you don't have to convince us who the mayor is. And I tell people that all the time. Like, I've been with him I've known him for 30 years, but I've been working with him for almost 30 years. And you don't have to convince me who he is because I knew who he was when I first heard him in 1994 when he ran for mayor coming straight out of college. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And he has
took the
never changed.
tags off his suit.
And right, and he has never changed to me. Like I tell people all the time, like y'all run this game talking about, oh, no, he's not. I'm sorry. He may be different in the respect that he's the mayor and he have to work with people and get more things done. But as his principles and his morals, he has never left that. You know what I'm saying? It is
Very
the
clear.
reason why I'm still there. Because I also have morals and principles. Because if he didn't, then I wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and listen, you what's crazy is the four people that's on this show right now, all of us have those same morals and principles, and that's why we still mess with Raz Baraka to this day,
Yeah.
Mayor Baraka to this day. Like, you know, and listen, I told him, I sent him a message prior to the election day, and I told him, I felt victory was at hand for him, but I just wanted to let him know how proud I was of the race that he ran, and that, you know what I'm saying, I'm never surprised about Jersey because I understand the history of the state. And so I would not be shocked, although I believe victory is at your doorstep. I'm not shocked about anything Jersey does, but I just wanted you to know that no matter what, brother, you know what I'm saying, that the race you ran, you put it all on the table. There's no reason to look back. There's no need to have regrets, the second guess yourself. You gave everything that you could give, and you were the best option for the state. And if they don't listen to you, if they haven't taken heed to that, then they get the elected official that they chose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm not saying I want the sister to lose. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be very clear. I'm not sold on supporting anyone until I'm clear about what we're going to get for our community. And I mean
Talk
that.
that
You know what I'm
talk,
saying?
brother.
I
Talk
mean that.
that talk.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
that's how I feel. I can't speak for the man. I'm talking
There
about
you go.
Rahman Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a vote in this. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
actually cast a vote in New Jersey. You
There
know
you
what I'm saying?
go.
So I want to be very clear to all those that sit out there in, you know what I'm saying, in power broker land,
Yeah.
in the elite, you know what I'm saying, behind the doors, behind the scenes rooms. Many that, listen, I've been in some, so I understand it. But I want to be very clear. I am not accepting status quo.
Talk
Either
that
you
talk.
coming to the table with some real, proven,
With an open hand.
right? You know what I'm saying? That, this
Right.
is what's going to happen. Or, you know what? Listen, I got to be honest with you. I might not support the Republican, but listen, I'll go to the polls because I'm always voting and writing Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse like I've always done in the past. Like, I don't
Right.
have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to give you my vote. And that might not make a difference for you, but it means something to me because I got principles and morals, like I said. And
Right.
somebody got to stand up to this craziness that's, you know what I'm saying, these folks. There's no reason why in the state of New Jersey and in Essex County that blacks and Latinos get less than 1% of the business in the state and in this county. There's no reason. I'm sorry, Larry. There's no reason. I'm sorry, Zaid. There's no
You ain't gotta
reason.
tell
I'm
me.
sorry, Al. There's just no reason. And all these people that keep making excuses for this, like, this is nonsense. It's foolishness. I'm sorry. And I know they talking about, oh, Rock, why are you saying, what are you talking about? I've been saying it. It's just that it's out in the weekly. Somebody got to put it in the opening now.
Make it plain. They be
You
playing.
know what I'm saying? Somebody got to put it in the opening now. Like, I'm tired of y'all coming to me about jobs and buildings and names on buildings and statues. And I don't want to hear about none of that because the people you paying to put it up don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy, man. And that's crazy. When we are, and when the election has proven, folks, that it's clear that we the majority in this county. And that if we come together and pull our vote together, imagine if all of them would have been with us.
Yep.
Imagine the vote plurality we would have had.
I'm sorry.
Would have been with us.
I'm sorry. Let me quote the great Rock. Rock said, if all of them brothers had just supported the man, he said he believed that even all of them folks who disagreed with him would have said, "Oh, we respect y'all. Y'all got away with it." That's what Rock said.
Yes.
I mean, no truer words could have been spoken, Larry and Zaid. I mean, let's keep that real.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right?
The mic drop.
Agreed.
Boom.
Yes,
No
yes.
truer words.
I'm not understanding. Like we give these people 90. Well, no, some of them give them 100% of their support. But why we can't give them 98%? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the crazy part. They give us less than 1% of the contract and business in the city. We had 0.34, Larry.
Rock, you ain't got to tell me, man. I worked.
0.34.
I worked in that area.
And we
So
giving them
it's
100%.
been that way for 40 years.
Yes, and we giving them 100% of our support, Larry. 100%.
It's been that way for 40 years. They just did a disparity study on the county.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the one I'm quoting. They just did the
Right. They just did a disparity study on the county.
But the crazy part
Black
about
people get less than 1%.
1%.
When you put all the minorities together, they get 2%. But when you take black people out, it's less than 1%.
Hey, Larry, the crazy thing is black and Latinos together is less than 1%.
Yeah.
We get 0.3.4 and they get 0.35.
That's why, see, that's why the federal thing is important. Because right now, I don't know what it would be, but I know it would be more than 1%.
Yes.
There were Supreme Court decisions. The major Supreme Court decision was the Richmond decision. Yes. Richmond versus Croson. It was back in the 70s, in the early 70s, when Maynard Jackson was down there in Atlanta. Yes. And they had to build the airport. He made black millionaires.
Yes.
Because he gave contracts.
Yes.
Because they had black construction companies.
Yes.
He made black millionaires. And when that happened, the Racist Contractors Association went into court and started challenging minority business set-asides.
Yes.
And when the Richmond decision came out, it said that set-aside programs had to be, quote unquote, narrowly tailored. And that was the beginning of the end of minority business set-asides. It ended last year with the Supreme Court decision on affirmative action.
Yes.
So the 1% is going to get smaller unless we get some people on that Supreme Court. And I'm going to tell you one of the things, hindsight is 2020. I didn't know this then, but I'm saying it now. We never fought hard enough for affirmative action.
Yes.
Because I believe some of us deep down inside were ashamed of affirmative. White people made us ashamed of affirmative action.
Right.
And had we fought harder for affirmative action, maybe we wouldn't have had that Supreme Court decision, that we had 2 years ago. We never fought. I had people, I would be on panels with all Black audiences, and I would have panelists try to argue me down against affirmative action. They did. I'm talking about Black nationalists, revolutionary.
Right.
I don't need no affirmative action. We
Right.
don't need no affirmative action. So now we don't have no affirmative action, and the less than 1%, they're gonna take that away too.
Right. And that's the crazy part, because they run around saying that,
Nothing there to
well,
take.
they saying that is reverse discrimination, as if we got somewhere with affirmative action. We didn't get nowhere with the affirmative action laws that currently exist. We less than 1%. That's great. The irony about this is when Jody first got elected to the county, when Treffinger was in office, he put a disparity group together. It was myself, Reverend Jackson, Reuben Johnson. It was a few of us. It was about 10 of us on this disparity group. And at the time, when we did the disparity summit, during Treffinger, which was a Republican, Blacks for contracts was like 2.4%, 2.3%. When Treffinger was in office.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 20 years later, folks, we are less than when the Republican guy was in office. We're less. Even after we did a disparity, we put together a disparity group. So who do we put the group together for? Because we get caught up into, like the mayor says, this access to power. We get caught up in the people putting up buildings and naming them after us, putting up statues and naming them after us, giving us a street name, telling us, like, we get so caught up in this minutia of petty, like, I don't care about none of that. Why don't we have access so that we can have the same resource and access to take care and provide for our families as everybody else does? Because I wouldn't care nothing about no building naming if you gave the Sheila Oliver family a contract to build that building. I would respect you more than to name it after her.
Go ahead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the craziness that we go through. I'm looking at around the Wyona Littman courthouse. Like everything, like they just do this and they do it in our face. And like, this is what bothers, like, I'm telling you, bro. I'm like, I am getting so like fed up about it. And I'm telling you.
You're not gonna have to worry now, because now without any affirmative action, they can choose less qualified white people to take these contracts. See, that's what affirmative action was all about. Affirmative action was about making sure that, and we see this in the Trump administration right now. Every person that Trump has appointed is not qualified for the job that they hold.
No, they are not. No,
Disgracefully not qualified.
No, they are not. No, they're not.
They put somebody over education that has no background in education.
Western businesswoman.
But this is why we needed affirmative action, not to give us something because we're less qualified, but because they were afraid that we were more qualified and could do a better job. You know? And now we're in a situation where we're going to have to claw our way back. And it's going to be difficult, but I think we can do it because look, the Supreme Court said in 1857 that Black people had no rights that white people were bound to respect. That was the Dred Scott decision. 3 years later, the Civil War started. 4 years after that, the 14th, 15th, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. I mean, we can reverse that, but it's going to be a long, hard road of struggle. There's a curse that comes with having lived too long. Because you begin to see how history repeats. Give you an example. In the 60s, we had the anti-poverty programs, and we had what was called the United Community Corporation. It was the anti-poverty agency for Newark. And in the 60s, the federal government would send that money right down into the UCC. After Gibson got elected, after Newark got a Black mayor, they changed the distribution process.
Right.
They started what was called block grants.
Right.
They stopped giving the money directly to the agencies and to the cities, and they started giving block grants to the county governments,
Right.
which we didn't have much representation on, and to the state government, where we had hardly any representation on.
Right. Right.
So this is one of the ways they circumvent, having to do anything. But I just fear that ultimately we probably just gonna have to just attend. I don't want to say what I really think we're gonna have to do, but we're gonna have to take action like we haven't taken before, like we haven't taken in the last 40 years, because they are intent on putting us back into near slavery. Their intent, this is their intent.
Yeah.
This is their intent. They don't want you to have no contracts.
Right.
They don't want us to have no millionaires.
Right.
They don't want us to be owners of anything. They don't even want us to own houses anymore.
Right.
This is what corporate purchase of housing is doing now.
Right.
They don't want people to buy houses.
Right.
They want you to rent the house and pay the money to the corporate landlord. You won't have one landlord living upstairs no more.
Right.
Now your landlord is going to be a corporation that owns 35,000 homes in the city of Newark.
Right.
That's where this thing is going.
Right.
And you're absolutely right, Larry. And that's why, what Keesha was saying a moment ago, that's why representation matters.
Yes.
Right. That is so important to us, particularly when you start talking about having less than 1% of the contracts. I mean, you got to, and I'm gonna quote Rock again. One of the things Rock said in his post is that he employs 7 people.
Right.
Right. You know how important that is, just to employ one goddamn person?
Right.
I heard it for the first time the other day. I was like, what? I didn't know that.
7 people, man. Imagine if we all were able to get resources. Now, me and my wife had to take a loan out on our house to open up this location. But
Wow.
imagine if the resources was opened up to us where more of us could get small businesses. If my one business can employ 7 Norkers, let's be very clear.
7
Everybody that works
people.
here is from
Wow.
Newark, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not including me and my wife in that 7, so we very clear. My staff is 7 people. That's my staff. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So, I mean, imagine if we can get 7 people, and like I said, we keep them on working because the community supports the business. You know what I'm saying? But if we did that, we duplicated that across the city, you know what I'm saying, across the state, across this county, dude, our community would not be in this situation. I always tell people, look at the East Ward of Newark. I tell people all the time, look at the East Ward of Newark. People can say what they want, but they have their own economy in the East Ward of Newark. They employ their own people. They own small businesses in their communities, wherever they're getting money from. I don't know if they're getting it from Pablo, Banco, America, or whatever. Whoever's giving them loans to open up those businesses, they're getting the loans and they're employing their community. And when you go down there, it looks like a different world.
That's right.
Yep.
Every block in that place until you get around the project area, every single block outside of Pennington Court, outside of Highland Court, every single block down there looks like a different world.
Yep.
And it's because they have thriving businesses. They support those businesses. They don't go above those trailers coming up there and spending their money nowhere else. They sit in those neighborhoods. They eat there. They work there. They play there. They have fun. They raise their family there. And they built their own economy because someone has given them the resources and the ability to be able to do that. And yet we have been the majority, not just in this city, but in this county.
Yep. Tell it.
For decades, and that does not exist in my community. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, and this is real, y'all.
Tell it.
You know what I'm saying? I was telling somebody this other day. I learned the valuable lesson from Steve Out of Bottle. Like when me and Steve Out of Bottle got, and people be surprised that I'm saying this. When me and him actually sat down after we fought over the school board and I beat him. When we actually sat down, one day he would always call me for lunch. And I never understood why he was calling me for lunch, because I used to sit at the table with him and be like, just like dogging him out, really, like calling him like, you shouldn't be running this, like, and he just be sitting there. So I should say, you must be a sucker for punishment, because you just want me to come over here and just like insult pretty much your whole operation. You know what I'm saying? And one day I was sitting at the table, Larry, and he said to me, he said, you come over here, you talk about me, and you say all of these things about I shouldn't be doing this and I shouldn't be in charge. He said, let me give you something. He said, I get $35 million a year for my program. This is what he said to me, Larry. This was years ago he said this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I get $35 billion a year of my program. And he said, those same people that you sit at this table and defend have to sign off on that entire $35 million. But yet and still, you don't have an organization like this in the South Ward of Newark. Now, why is that? Because I clearly can't stop them from doing it. They have to sign off on my money.
Mm.
And I sat there, Larry, and all I could do was hold my head
It's
down.
true. Well, and that's why Donald Tucker set up his cultural center.
That's right. That's right.
That's why Donald Tucker set up his, because it was clear to people that we didn't have a nonprofit operating, providing those kind of services. So he set up his nonprofit,
Right.
and it's unfortunate that he passed away, but Tucker was trying to do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
$35 million.
But you're right. You know what else though? What people don't know, Portuguese got affirmative action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many people don't know that.
Yeah.
That in the federal affirmative action guidelines, Portuguese are considered a disadvantaged minority.
Wow.
And they've been benefiting from affirmative action for the last 40, 50 years. So maybe they've been getting some of that set aside money too.
Well, listen, it sure ain't been coming to us, because you can come into our community and see that it's clear. That's why it is important that we select leadership, and having Raz as an opportunity to be the governor would have been exactly what we needed.
That's
To
right.
actually get us in. And the crazy part about it, he wouldn't have been able to change it, but he would have been able to make some impact on it, because
He would have had an impact.
it's going to take decades to change it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen overnight. They won't fight us tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? So it never will happen. We will, in our lifetime, not see equal playing field. In our lifetime, like we'll be dead and gone before. I don't even know if my grandkids will see it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's going to take decades for us to right this ship. It's going to take decades. But he would have at least had an impact. You know what I'm saying? He at least would have tried. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we needed him in that state house. And that's why I'm happy he ran. I told him the other day, brother, the fact that I voted for you for governor was a victory for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fact that I actually was able to go to the polls and pull a level that said Raz Baraka for governor, I got to be honest with you. I left that poll like, man, I just voted for the guy that I really want to be governor. You know what I'm saying? I didn't vote for the surrogate. I didn't vote for the person that made promises to me. I voted for the person that I really believe that, if this individual get there, there's going to be some changes made to make sure that our communities benefit for what this state has to offer. Because I'm telling you right now, these surrogates, I don't care what nobody say, has not offered anything. And you could just see it. I'm sorry. Listen, some of my friends, I promise you, after I made that post the other night, I got a text from the county. I ain't gonna call a name. You know what I'm saying? I got a text from the county. You know what I'm saying? So and I said to the individual, you can text me and you can get mad about whatever I post or whatever, but at the end of the day, what you can't tell me is that if the shoe was on the other foot, that if this was a majority white county, and white folks got less than 1% of the contracts, and black people got 99% of the contracts, that you would be sitting there silent, man, y'all would have a revolution and burn it down.
That's right.
Before y'all allowed for that to happen. So
You know it.
I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the right. And instead of being mad at me for making a post, why don't you go back and try to fix it so that we can make sure it's different, so we don't keep talking about that. Because I'm going to stay on it for a while. I'm going to keep reminding you.
Right on, brother.
I'm gonna keep reminding you because my community support my deli. So listen, Rahman Muhammad and his wife is good.
I'm gonna come down there and get me a tuna fish sandwich.
Yeah, you got to come on in, man. You know what I'm saying? Your picture got to go on the wall, man. Stop acting like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I tell y'all this, man. You know, Rock, and you know, I said this to Larry before you came on. You know, the lawyer in me, man, definitely says that, you know, because, you know, the conversation that people have been having about the mayor, you know, should, you know, consider being, you know, the lieutenant governor. And I said that I don't think that's a position he should take. But if that was a consideration, that would be one I would sit down and negotiate with some power, not one you sit there and just be a yes man and sit there and can't do nothing for your people, you know, because that's just not, you know, everybody know the mayor's a leader, everybody, right? So for him to sit there and have to train somebody how to be the governor, how to be a leader, how to do some of the things that this brother has already done, no, man, that's just not
But
something we
the
see.
other thing is, I want to get this rest because there's no power in that. So I want everybody to understand there's no power in being lieutenant governor. You know what
No,
I'm saying? And it's just what I posted. And to anyone who believes, like, I don't know who this ghost senior advisor is because I don't, you know, that's, you know, we was walking around when we seen that article, like, who put this out? Because they ain't none of, you know, we haven't, those of us that's been around the mayor for all these years don't know what they talking about.
right.
There's no power in that. He is the mayor of the largest city in the state. Why would he give that up to go work for somebody? Because that's what he would be doing. I need y'all to understand that. They
Yeah,
would have control over him if he became lieutenant governor. He couldn't have his own voice. Listen, I'm the deputy mayor. You have to understand that when I was a union leader, I had my own voice. But being Mayor Baraka's deputy mayor, my voice is somewhat muted.
yep,
My voice is somewhat muted because y'all know me. It's
yep.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
I would
right.
be much more crazier if I was still a union leader. Now,
Yeah,
y'all,
that's right.
you know what I'm saying? Everybody up on here already know who I am. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? My voice is much more muted because I work for him and I'm a
Right,
team player. And so
right.
he still allows me to keep my voice, but I know where to take it. I
Yep,
don't take it over the top. You know what
right.
I'm saying? So this man can't be nobody's lieutenant governor. His personality is way too large. Are
That's what
you
I
kidding?
told Larry. He
It's
can't
way too
do it.
large. He can't do it. It's
Unless
way
you're
too
gonna start
large.
some serious
Well,
Like I said,
one of
another thing, either we are in charge or we have to fight those who are in charge.
That's
We
right.
That's
can't
period.
compromise on that. And if
Period.
you become the lieutenant governor, we will be compromising that.
Yep,
Because if you don't do what's right, you
yep.
could be let go as the lieutenant governor.
That's right. That's right.
Like, we
It,
can't allow for that. We can't allow if the man came and said, all right, I'll be lieutenant governor. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna take such and such. I want you to make them this. I want you to make this person, put this person here, blah, blah, blah. And then he get there to the state and he start being vocal because it's something that they done did that he don't like. And he start trying to be an independent voice. And they say, okay, you want to play that? We can't get you because you got a few more years left. But you know what? We're gonna let that person go that you asked us to put in such and such. We're gonna let this one go. Like we can't allow for that to happen, y'all.
yep, yep,
The man has to stay strong, man. And he
yep.
got to turn around and be the listen, let me tell y'all something right now. After Tuesday, they cannot do anything in the state
Tell it.
without coming and talking
Tell
to
it.
the new progressive
Tell
leader
it.
of the state of New Jersey,
Tell it.
Mayor Raz Baraka.
Tell it.
They
Tell it.
can't run a statewide candidate. They
Yep.
can't run. They can do what they want to do, but if he sit it out, I promise you, you're not going to turn around here and rile up the people that need to be riled up to help you get in office. You
That's
can
right.
try to do it without him, but I promise you it won't be successful.
That's right.
Now, with him, it may be successful because you're already going to have a hard time.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't think that because they got some poll that came out and said, oh, she's such and such. Like, y'all can play that game as you want. Donald Trump got 500,000 more votes in New Jersey than he did the last time. Be
Yep.
very clear about that. He
Yep.
got 500,000 more votes than he did the last time.
Yep.
So we're not listening to these polls. At the end of the day, if they don't activate Mayor Baraka 100%, it is going to be difficult to beat Jack Shelley
That's
Rutledge. I'm
right.
telling you that
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you that right
That
now.
is
I'm
right.
talking about 100%,
Yeah.
not 40%, not 50%, not 99%.
Yeah.
They have to activate him 100% for him to be able to have buy-in
Yep.
and for him to be able to go out there and speak highly of
Yep.
this woman so
Yep.
that he can help her get elected and
Yep.
take her into these communities that she's going to have difficult rallying up so
Yep.
that they can come out and vote for her, because
Yep.
it's going to be hard to energize that base
Yep.
Yep.
after they came out and showed
That's
you that
that's
they
the
wanted
truth.
this progressive brother, and now they feeling a little bit dissuaded that that didn't happen. Now
Yep.
you got to rile them back up. Now you might get some of them that say, "Well, we can't, you feel," but some of them gonna be like, "Listen, you know what? I might just sit this one out." So
Yep.
you need to get Mayor Baraka riled up 100% to be
Yep.
with Mickey Sherrill, and I'm saying that he should. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? I keep telling, I'm not against Mickey Sherrill, but she got to show what she gonna do for us.
That's right.
We can't just go there
Right.
and say, "Oh, you
There you
automatically
go.
got our vote because you got a D
There you
behind
go.
your name." No,
There you go. Yep.
no, 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 no. I
Agreed.
want to know some
Yep.
substantials. What you gonna do?
Right. What I tell you, Larry, I
I'm
told you
I'm gonna
it's
have to jump off, fellas. I gotta
yep.
get ready for tomorrow for the
All right, bro.
demonstration.
All
All
right.
right. All
Well,
right.
listen, we're gonna end the show too, Larry. But let me just say, Rock, you absolutely right. It's got to be about negotiation, my brother.
That's right. That's right.
We got to negotiate this, man, because it can't be about no, just asking the mayor to go out there and support you with no power, nothing agreed upon, no help for our people. No, that's not gonna ride with us, man. You know what I mean? Especially not those of us who understand what time it is and know clearly that she can't win without him. That ain't gonna happen, right?
Yeah, so yeah. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now. I don't speak for the mayor. I speak for Rahman Muhammad, and I'm telling
Yep.
you right now, if I don't see anything of substantial that is coming from that camp, if they want to be arrogant, if they want to pretend that they can do this without us, I promise you
Yep.
that when I go to the polls, I may not support Shitterelli, but I'm telling you right now, I know how to write in a candidate. And
Yeah.
I promise you, Rahman Muhammad will
Yeah.
write in a candidate. You know what I'm saying? That in a heartbeat, I
Yeah.
will write in a candidate, and I won't be actively out here saying I'm supporting you and doing any of those things. I'm telling you right now, I'm not. Somebody talking about, oh, we gotta hope that we need to support her, and somebody made a post on me that we need to support her and hope that she does. I am out of the hope business, folks.
Yeah.
I'm out the hope
Yeah.
business. I'm
Me
telling you
too.
right now, I am out of the hope business, brother,
Me too.
because there is no other community
Yeah.
We don't,
that is in the hope business
and
but
we
black
wind up
folks.
being hopeless.
Right. There's no other community other than black communities that's still in the hope business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're the only community that's still in the hope business.
Playing
And
us for
as
straight
long as we
sucker.
stay in the hope business, we will be less than 1% of the business in the
That's
state and the
math.
county.
That's some math for your.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. So, Rock, listen, man, we appreciate you coming on. You know what I mean, and being a part of this conversation with us, my brother. We definitely are on the ground, man, trying to make sure that we support the mayor in whatever direction he want to go in. We're gonna ride with him because that's who we are. But at the end of the day, they got to come with something, right?
Yes.
They got to come with something, and we just saying that straight up and real. Just like you, Rock, I got some texts from people saying, why I wanted to call, some of these cats slave sellouts, because that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm not saying anything that the mayor didn't say. The mayor clearly said that when these folks needed help, Rock, he said he sent his team into these cities, brother,
Yes.
to help them. That's what he
Yes.
did, right?
Yes.
That's
And
what he
so we
did.
had an opportunity to do what you said, that they would have gotten more respect if they just said, you know what, this one here, we got to go with our brother. They couldn't even do that, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, the man said it best. He said, when I decided to run for governor, I thought I had friends until I decided to run for governor. I thought that was real deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was real. I'm gonna tell you something. If I thought that coming from him, because if you know him,
We lost Rock.
Oh, I thought that was me. Okay.
No.
Okay, because this is
if
about to
if,
run out in a minute.
if you know him, if you know him, that's my wife trying to call.
Oh, okay.
Know the man. If you know the man, then you know that hurt him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For him to say that,
Yeah.
then he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. For him to say that, I'm telling y'all right now. For
Yeah,
him to say, I thought I
100%.
had friends until I ran for governor, means that those individuals hurt him. I
Yeah.
just need y'all to understand that part.
Yeah.
And I understand the hurt. I understand his hurt and I feel his pain. But I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy, because I'm not surprised. I remember when
Yeah.
he first started this conversation and invited us all on to Martha's Vineyard to have this discussion. I was in the room.
Yeah.
And I was saying, because me and my wife, that was our first time being in Martha's Vineyard. I was having me a good old time.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting, and it was a meeting for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
And all of us in the room, and we talking about things. And I got up in the meeting. I said, let me say something to y'all, because I know what's about to happen. And I want to be, and everybody was mad. They thought I was being a Debbie Downer in the meeting. And I said, I know what's about to happen. There are going to be folks that leave here and got to report to their people, and that's okay. But I want you to understand that you're wasting my time. And I would
Yeah.
rather you sit here and be honest so that I can go and enjoy Oak Bluff and
Yeah.
get my drink on and enjoy good old Martha's Vineyard, because I'm having me some fun. Because I
Yeah.
know for fact that
Yeah.
there are people in this room that's not going to commit to what
Yeah.
we asking for them to commit to. And
Yeah.
I left it at that.
Yeah. Hey, Rock, you remember when when Congressman Payne went home to be with the Lord. Remember what he said, man. And I said this to the mayor, when he came on the show and we did the mayor's report. And he said he wanted to talk to all the black elected officials who look like him.
That's right.
Right. And he said if we just organize, we don't have to take no direction from these party bosses. We can determine, right, who's going to be elected and who's going to be the bosses in whatever area. And these Negroes, right, some of these Negroes turned around and turned their back on the brother.
Sure did.
And they feeling some type of way about me calling them slave sellouts. Are you serious? Are you
What
serious?
you did.
Come
What
on, man.
you did.
You know,
That was the moment.
yeah. So
That was the moment, Ed.
yeah, I know, because they had an
Because
opportunity.
he said that out loud in front of everybody
Right.
without apology.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a moment right here to make a move for power.
And and,
Listen,
and, and Rock, he said that in front of everybody at that funeral, brother. Right. And I reminded the man when he came, he said, yeah, he said everybody heard it. And so you right, man. When these cats turned their back on him, I felt that too. you know. And I was, because some of these brothers, man, when they were in council, they had nowhere else to come. They would be here, man, and we would support them and
Right.
give them as much space as we could give them, right? And for them to do that, they would have that black, rah rah talk with us, and then for that to happen, nah, man. And what Mitty told me is, he said, listen, man, because some of these cats would say, oh, I can't support them publicly, but I can support them privately.
I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah, and Mitty said the same thing.
Yeah.
Mitty said, well, we don't need you privately, man. We need
Charles
Right.
Boyer calls them sycophants.
Yeah, we definitely don't need. We definitely don't want to hear that, because I heard a lot of that too, and I was like, "Listen, y'all
That is
y'all
so
talking to the
lame.
wrong guy. Y'all talking to Rahman Muhammad when y'all say
Yeah.
that stuff. It's best not even say it." And listen, I'm gonna say it again. I come from politics. I've been in politics since I was 22, so I understand. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, I understand. Like I'm gonna be real with you. I wouldn't get into because I understand why some of them do it, right? I get it. I'm just being real with y'all. I do get it. I'm not here to knock people and what they have to do and take care of their priorities. I just really believe that on this one.
Oh, he kept going out. He
I
was
think
killing
his wife, he said his wife
Queen,
is trying to get out.
Queen want to check in.
And I think that they would have respected them enough to say, we understand. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I'm saying, like, you should at least tried it. That's the point. That's the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make to you. Because I get it. It's a lot to risk. It is. Listen, y'all, trust me, in this game, I get it. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of it is that I never needed that part of the game to provide for me. You know what I'm saying? I come from the streets. I was a hustler. So I understand my way of hustling. A lot of people sit up there and they say to me, "Rock, why are you opening up a deli? You know, when you leave, you can go do consultant work and do." I'm like, when I leave politics, I'm left politics. What are y'all talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the problem. I don't need that to survive.
Right.
I've learned how to survive. I've been surviving before I got a job.
Right.
I understand.
That's the mother right there, because you know those same folks, they're stuck. They're stuck,
Yes.
and they would rather stay stuck than actually try to do something, so we don't have to do that anymore.
No, exactly. Listen, I'm more independent by
We did
being a
not
deli owner,
fight
Zaire.
for this moment for us to stay stuck somewhere up under somebody else's behind.
Yes. Hey, Zaire, I am more stronger by being a business owner, Zaire. I'm more strong because I'm gonna say it again. My community support this business. you know what I'm saying? So you can't come up here with your politics talking craziness because one, my food good, my place is good, and I'm a good dude. You know what I'm saying? My community supports this business, which makes me independent. It is the reason why a lot of other groups.
Independence.
It's a reason why a lot of other groups get what they want because they own businesses. They're independent. They push these people to do what they want because they have the resources to put them where they are. We got to get these resources.
Yep.
If we had more Big Rocks delis, then we can put the resources together so we can get these people in office that we
There you
need
go.
to do our bidding.
That's right.
There you
And our
go.
You
community
know what I'm
gets
saying? And
to
it
go
don't
on
have to be a
board.
Big Rocks deli. It could be a Zaire deli. Or
Listen,
like, it don't have to be my
we
deli.
old enough, and listen, now, Ed and I are a little older than you, Rock, but we can remember when Bergen Street
Yes. Yes.
was Bergen Street.
Yes.
It
Yes.
ain't like now,
Yes.
Yeah.
but it was
Yes.
Bergen Street, all up and down the street. That was our folks and I having their business, taking care of ourselves.
Listen, Zai, I tell people all the time, these young folks, they be sitting up here talking about, oh, this one. I said, let me tell you, when I was a kid, the Cornerstone was owned by a black guy. Y'all call
That's
it a
right.
bodega today, but it was actually owned by a black man. The liquor store was owned by a black man. The
Yep.
bar was owned by a black man. The laundromat was owned by a black
That's
man.
right.
All of these places, the bakery was owned by a black man. The shoe store was owned by, the clothing store down the street was owned by a black. The meat store down the street was owned by a black man. I don't know what y'all talking about. There was a concerted effort for us to give up our businesses and begin to work for government to take away that independence because you can be controlled when you're no longer independent. When
Yep.
you depend on these government resources, these government jobs to keep you alive and to keep you paying for you, they control you. And it is what is happening right now. And it is why they are arrogant enough to believe
Yep.
that we should stay silent when we see a disparity report that says we got less than 1% of the damn contracts in this city. It is that arrogance I need y'all to
Trump didn't do
understand.
that.
It is that arrogance that makes them believe that because they know, Negro, we take care of y'all.
Yep.
Hush up. What are you talking about? But you don't take care of this one.
Yep.
You don't take care of this one. And if you think that I'm gonna be silent about it, then you got another game coming. And guess
That's
what?
right.
They
That's
and
right.
you have to understand because the people that text me, they're my friends, or I consider them my friends. We just disagree on this one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hold no grudges. I ain't called no names on here because I don't want to expose them. And,
Yep.
it's our private conversation. But let's be very clear. They need to know that Rahman Muhammad is
Yep.
going to speak out about it. And I'm going to say that from the time I got out in the street, I worked my way to have an independent voice to be able to do that. And I'm not going to stop it because you think that you are powerful or more powerful than me or arrogant. You kidding yourself if you believe that.
Yep.
You really kidding yourself. I am a chess game player. That's why you see this nice chessboard in my deli. I play chess. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
am a chess game player, brother. And
Yep.
I am always thinking one step ahead of you. So you
Yep.
can think that you got a step ahead of me or because you got a little this and you can do this and you kidding yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm always organizing. I organize in this deli. When
Yep.
people come in my deli, I organize them. So we need to turn around and understand that we got power. We just have to use it. And if
Stop
because
being
I know
afraid of it.
we afraid of it, yes. And if them brothers or sisters would have just said, on this one,
Yep.
you
Yep.
get 98% of me. But on this one, I gotta give it to him.
Yep.
Then we would have did, like, I'm not saying he would have won the governorship, y'all. But I'm just saying that we would have sent an even louder message.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That we would have sent an even louder
Yeah.
message. One, that at some point we will come together.
Yep. Yep.
And this is the piece that I wanted to build on what you said. And Ed, watch how I try and tie this together, right? Because we got Raz and we had baby Chokwe, right? Chokwe's father, and I go back with his father too, right? Fashioned himself to be a Fannie Lou Hamer Democrat,
Right.
right? A radical Democrat outside of the Democratic Party. We are watching the emergence of a Baraka Democrat in New Jersey.
Right.
That's what we're watching.
Right.
That's what we're part of right now, right? Those of us who are Democrats who are supporting Rad, that's what we're watching right now, and that's what they're afraid of.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Well, listen. Rock. We out of time, man. We just
and we need to let you. We need to let you get to your wife too.
I know
That's
she
good
calling
queen.
me
You
off the
gotta
hook.
take care of that.
I hope ain't nothing happened because she was calling me like
tell her
crazy.
we said thanks, Rock.
Yeah, I will.
We appreciate it, man.
Hey, y'all brothers, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yes,
Right
sir.
on,
You too,
right
man.
on.
All right, man. Take
Y'all
care,
right
man.
now.
And
Peace.
thanks for the support, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we coming through, man.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Yeah, I'm coming through tomorrow after we do this march.
All right, man. So let's hey Zaid, let's thank everybody, man, for coming on tonight. So
Ooh, we had a lot. Little young brother Telly.
Yep.
I forget the name. I forgot the name of the boys program that quick. Yeah,
it's called the Open Gym Program, right?
No. That's not the name of it. It's Youth Rising.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Youth Uprising Pro.
That's it.
Yep.
I apologize because I'm still associating him with Shadi and Khalil from New Direction. So that's where I'm kind of stuck. But I want to lift that little brother up, what he's trying to do, right? Sean and London came in, a beautiful intergenerational exchange. These young artists coming through. Keesha gave us a good segment of time that she usually doesn't have to give us.
Yep.
She gave us that, right? And we got a lot to do and a lot to hold on to in this crazy moment, and everybody to get ready for pull up for peace and to keep supporting the gun violence actions. The Sunday gun violence action, Sharif couldn't get on, right? But it's going to be, I think, at 11 o'clock at the Office of Violence Prevention, which was the old first precinct, right? Fathers pull up for peace. That's going to be a powerful thing that Sharif is doing. I want to just make sure I got it right because, Sharif is Fathers for the Fight. 12 o'clock, I'm sorry, 12 o'clock at the Office of Violence Prevention at the old first precinct on 17th Ave, right? And Lisa's Hear My Cries is June 28th. At 11 o'clock at City Hall, right? All of that. It's been a powerful night. A demo came through, right? And we all rocked it out. We all rocked
and Larry got a march tomorrow, right?
No King's Day. Those are marches going on all over the country, right? We got a hand in the Newark March, but this is happening all over the country. We didn't even get a chance to touch on the drama that's happening over Delaney. There was an uprising at Delaney Hall.
Yeah,
right? There's an uprising because they are not being treated right, and that's what the congressional delegation was trying to inspect.
Right. And the mayor said, when they talked about 4 people escaped, he said that's what we were trying to find out whether this place was even safe, right? So they claim.
What do we find?
Yeah. Here we go.
Right on to the maroon energy that did that uprising too. I'm gonna say that too. Let whoever needs to make disclaimers make their disclaimers. I ain't making none.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Thank you, Rafisa. Yes. No King's Day, 11 o'clock tomorrow at the Lincoln statue. It's gonna be a bunch of folks there. I want to shout out People's Organization for Progress, the ACLU, New Jersey Immigrant Alliance, and Make the Road New Jersey, who are driving the local conversation for the Newark No Kings of Peace. But it's going to be all over the country. all over the country, just like April 5th was all over the country.
Yep. And so we thank everybody for coming on. And Rafisa, do me a favor. Can you come on the air real quick and just, let's tell the folks real quick. We just want to say congratulations to you once again. Thank you. So why don't you just share a little bit?
I'm so proud of you, girl.
With that Teacher of the Year. Share that again with us.
So once again, I was presented with Teacher of the Year from Malcolm X Shabazz High School. I just want to acknowledge all the teachers in Newark. One was selected from every school. And then also to recognize the District Teacher of the Year, which was Mario Banks from Science Park High School. So congratulations to everyone. All of us really work hard as educators, really to inspire our children every day.
That's class. That's class, baby. I appreciate that. In fact, we didn't get a chance really to talk about it. And this is something we can do another time. Shabazz is coming back. Mm-hmm. Shabazz, a few years ago, Shabazz High School was in trouble. But Shabazz is coming back because of teachers like that. This woman right here. That's right. That's right. So we're gonna lift you up, baby, 100%.
Yep. Yep. And take it from Brother Kapele when he says, there's no better educator in our community than that brother right there.
That's right, 100%.
So congratulations for you doing the work you're doing, Rafisa. We love you. We appreciate you. And you got a team and a family with APAL. We rock with you. That's right. And we thank you for your guest tonight. We I felt that brother's presence. I enjoyed having him. He reminded me of somebody who saved my life, right? So I appreciate the work that he does by being able to hold a space for young people to come and feel safe, if only for 3 hours, right? That could mean the difference between saving somebody's life. So we appreciate that and thank you for that.
100%.
And as you say, Zaid, we'll catch everybody with
Whirlwind, and you don't stop.
Good night, y'all.